Hey! We're late. surprise. Alright, let me fix my chair here.
This is becoming a regular thing for us.
This is. And look at this, we're not even fully ready, guys. Lightsabers are not even on.
Oh!
Oh! I was like, no. Hold up, 1 second, guys. 1 second, welcome to the live stream, folks. How are y'all doing, by the way?
We're a mess.
We're a mess. We are. Today's been one of those days that we've had for the past month. It's just been like that. But
Maybe seem a little loud.
it's loud in my ear, but it's not for them. So, how are you guys doing this Friday evening with 2 weeks left until HHN 32 kicks off for opening night?
Only one more Friday.
One more. Oh my god, I didn't even think of that. We have one more Friday live stream after today until HHN. Because then the next week we're doing a Thursday live stream. That is insane.
That's crazy.
Holy smokes. Also, I did see somebody in the chat earlier as we were kind of getting all set up. Kyle Humphrey at Dead Coconut Club. What is up? A little jealous of me right now. Hopefully one day we can go over there and do a live stream party and stuff for everybody at the Dead Coconut Club. That'd be fun.
That'd be fun.
Anyways, how are you guys doing this Friday evening? Hope you guys are doing well. Go ahead and say it out loud. I'll let you say it. Is it too loud? I mean, it's literally like all the way down. Is that fine? Is that better?
That should be good.
I don't care if you can hear us. I want you to hear the music. Anyways, I hope you guys are having... And then, oh, there it is. It's a change. I was like, our technical
I was like, no, I
things,
can't hear it.
I don't know what is going on in our studio. We're still not fully established and stuff. We're running around trying to get everything that we can done. But I hope you guys are doing this Friday evening with 2 weeks left, guys.
I hope you're doing.
We hope you're doing. Hope you're doing. But anyways, we got a good amount to talk about today. For those of you that know and that have already seen it, at midnight, technically today, we released our most anticipated list over on our channel. So we had our 5 scare zones and our 10 houses for this year's event. We finally got around to doing that video, which we were supposed to do back in late July to release in early August, but here we are. So basically today's live stream, what we're really going to do is we're going to dive into our anticipated list. So for those of you guys who have already seen the video, we'll basically kind of do that, but on a much more blown up scale. So for each list that we go down and each house, we're going to break it into details on what we think and all. We're probably going to be spending about 5 to 10 minutes for each scare zone in a house, for each property. We'll spend about 5 to 10 minutes. So this could be a very quick live stream, either an hour long, or this could go on for about 2 hours plus. It all depends. And kind of how we're going to go ahead and do it too is where we'll start with the scare zones like we did in the video. We'll go through our list. For those of you guys who have already seen the video, that's pretty much what it is. If you haven't seen the video, this will kind of be like the video for you guys. You don't have to go back and see the video just because we're pretty much going to do it right here for you guys live. So we'll do that. We'll get into the scare zones. We'll talk about our 5th place, 4th place. And as we go along, we'll ask you guys, based on which property we discuss, where it is on your hype list, on your most anticipated. So like where our number 5 is blah, 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 we'll ask you for that property, where is it on your list? Is it number 2? Is it number 1? Is it number 3? And they give us a little description. So we'll have a lot of engagement with you guys. We'll discuss things. We'll pull out some comments from the chat to go over and see what people have to say.
I wonder if we can do a poll with like 10 different options to do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
That might be difficult. What we could do is probably for each house in each scare zone, we can pull in a poll where we can say like...
Only 4 options.
That's perfect. We can say like, how excited are you for this one on a scale of like 1 to 10? And you can base it between 0 to 3, 4 to 6, and then 7 to 9, and then 10 absolute hyped or whatever. And we can kind of do a poll on like that, as well as you guys giving the description on that. But to start off, we have to bring this person up here, Miss Mia Stonewolf with the 20, saying hubby is on a plane down to Florida right now to do Taste of Horror. Just coming down just to do that. So yeah, I gotta go. I'm gonna go try out the food. And get our picks for the HHN Tribute Store. Can't wait to be there myself. September 9th. Hugs, y'all. Guys.
Nice.
You know what's crazy? First of all, thank you for the 20, by the way. And can't wait to see what the hubby says about the Taste of Horror. What's crazy to me is we've, as a channel, right? We talk Horror Nights every single day. I mean, Steph can attest to this. Like, if I'm lying, Steph will blatantly just tell you guys in public if I'm lying, like right up front.
Yeah.
Do we talk about Horror Nights every single night? Every single day?
Yeah, for the most part. Yes, you do.
So, to be in this moment right here, and obviously this year hasn't gone planned at all. This has been one of the worst planned years we've had with the house and the cars and personal things. You guys all know it. You guys all been there. So it's been putting a damper on our, what you would call it, like the speculation season, our announcement season. And then Horror Nights just really didn't do anything for the announcement season part. So this whole build up to HHN has been really hard for us because we're like, there's so many things we want to do, but we just haven't been able to actually do them because of all the problems we've been having going on, which kind of sucks. But as I sit here now realizing we have one more Friday live stream between us and Horror Nights. We have 2 more live streams after tonight, maybe 3. Maybe. We'll see. I'm not going to put promises out there now. But we have 2 more live streams. I'm sitting here thinking there's 2 more weeks until opening night. Until Steph and I can go to the event that we love the most in this entire world. And I get to see, like, for instance, Mia saying September 9th, and to see you guys put down the days that you're going and letting us know, like, oh, we're counting down 47 more days, 28 more days, and all this stuff. It's like the feeling that we get and how real it feels should also be that same feeling you guys are having right now, too. And it's just kind of, it's like, it's about time. All the stores have Halloween merch coming out. All the retailers and stuff, they're, you know, like, even food, we're getting fall Halloween themed food.
I bought all of the pumpkin related things at Publix that I could find.
Yeah, anything that we can find that's fall, we're snagging. We're basically like stocking up for winter kind of. And it's one of those things where it's like, now we've been on Halloween 24/7 year round. That's kind of our mind, that's our clock, that's our calendar. But now it seems like the world is also catching up to us as well. And when that happens, it's like, yes, it's about time, folks.
Yeah.
It's about time. And 2 weeks away.
It's funny because we're so like into Halloween, and I feel like, especially in Orlando, like Halloween starts in August. And it's so funny because I posted a TikTok recently about, like, I was setting up our little not bar cart. It's like a coffee.
Your little coffee cart.
It's a coffee cart.
Call it what it is, your coffee cart.
And I have all these like Halloween things on it, and I got so many comments on it that was like, it's only August. I'm like, it's August, like it's Halloween.
It's Halloween for us. And what's crazy too, it's like, I say this every time, and I'm probably going to say this at the end of each live stream coming up and at the beginning. These are those moments, guys. Soak it in. Soak it in. Because I mean, it felt like it wasn't ever going to get here, but we're actually physically here. And we're 2 weeks away from opening night of HHN. And as quickly as that is approaching us now, is as quickly as it's going to come to an end. And I have a feeling that this year it's going to be a good year. I'm really I was nervous about the logistics of things getting into this year and the layout, but the more that I look at it, I feel like, oh, okay, I'll take a step back. And I think really what has me happy is the fact that the Jurassic Park tribute store is still up in Hollywood. And it seems like we're getting the one in New York for a tribute store this year, which means the world to me, because that's the one thing I think that was really bumming me out about this year. So I think the other logistics will play out the way it needs to be, but I think this is looking good. I'm stoked. Yeah. But soak this moment in, guys. Soak it in, because we only get it once. So, Mia Stonewolf, thank you again for the 20, starting it off. We got to head over to our man here, HK Grim Sniper, which I've been realizing he's been on the live stream for a couple times now. Catching the live stream.
Friday.
Yeah, the last one too, right? Just wanted to say thank you. This is with the 10, by the way. Been super stressed the past month, and your guys' live stream and videos have been getting me through the past month. Love this community. Hope to see you guys September 28th through October 1st. Well, first of all, that means a lot. I'm glad that we're pulling you through it. I honestly feel like, like Steph and I said, we've been going through a tough time. It's been rough, but I feel like, this whole community, and talking with our folks over on Discord, talking with our folks in Instagram, over on YouTube, TikTok, wherever we, discuss things with you guys. It seems like everybody's going through a tough time. Like, I really don't know anybody who's like, no, everything's perfect. It really does seem like it's been a struggle for everyone.
I think it is, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not like super into astrology, but Venus was in retrograde, and I think that has everybody all messed up.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you getting to your dark zodiacs here? Yeah, I mean, it seems like everybody that we've been in discussion with around this community has been going through a tough time. So I believe it's safe to say that, and I'm gonna say this for everybody, we are all looking forward to HHN so we can escape from everything. Yeah. That is our escape coming up. And that's what we're using, to be honest. So, but HK Grim Sniper, hoping to see you there, my man. We will be there that weekend, which is exciting. Yeah. So we should be lurking around in the shadows. Keep an eye out for us. Thank you for the 10. And then we also have a couple more things here. One of our longtime supporters here for the Fright Club for 7 months, Brandon does theme parks. I was at my sister's play and someone had an HHN 30 shirt on, and I had to try not to geek out.
Every time I'm at the gym, someone at the gym has on an HHN shirt. And it takes I don't really talk to people at the gym, but there is a little part of me that wants to go up and
just talk.
Just say hi.
Right. There's anytime Steph and I are just out and about and there's somebody wearing an HHN shirt, 2 things happen. In my mind, I look at the person, I'm like, that person gets it. And 2, we both look at each other and we're like, look, HHN. Wow. And then we probably look weird to them because they're like, why is this person staring at me when we're both looking at them look, wow. But it's exciting. We discuss HHN all the time. So when we see people repping the shirt in March, I'm like, hell yeah. Good. Go you. Good job. But Brandon does theme park 7 months in the Fright Club. Great having you on board. Another person celebrating 1 year. 1 year in the Fright Club, Miss Michelle Klinger. Great having you as always. It's been great having you for longer than a year. You've been part of the Fright Club for a year, but supporting us for a long time. I can tell you that. Yeah. Michelle, HHN starting so soon is the happy we all need back in our lives.
Yes.
Amen. Preach it, Michelle. Another 1 year celebratory victory here with Mr. Tuller Talks. Woo woo. Woo woo. Woo woo. 1 year, finally, yes. Welcome to the 1 year anniversary for some of our Fright Club members. It's actually exciting celebrating that. We had a couple last week and a couple more trickling on in for this week as well, which is really cool because we started that up a year ago. And it's crazy to think that 2 years ago, we started the YouTube with HHN back in 2021. And I'm like, dang, that's all it's been? That's it?
Yeah, that's crazy.
It feels like we've been doing this for about 30 years. And at the same time, it feels like we just started this out.
It feels like 30 years, yeah.
It feels like 30 years. I've honestly felt like I put the stress on of such with doing this. Yeah. It's been very stressful, but loving it. And then another person that just has to flex one more time. Oh, it is self-inflicted.
It's self-inflicted stress.
We do this to ourselves, guys. It could be so much easier to be honest, but we choose not to. Miss Mia again with 11 months closing in on a full year with the Fright Club. 1 month to go. See y'all in the fog. We'll see you soon there, Mia. Mm-hmm. See you soon. So, I hope you guys are having a good time. I see we got, how many people? We got 97 right now currently watching. Great having you guys on board and stuff. Got a fun live stream. We're just going to chat with you guys. Very chill, very laid back. We have somewhat of an actual schedule into what we're getting with in certain things, which will be nice. Let me check some real quick. Yeah, all good. Okay, that's cool. I'm just making sure this is all updated. But we actually have a little bit of a schedule that we'll kind of go on, but we'll be free and loose with certain things. Like I said, we're going to go over our most anticipated list again, like we did in that video that we premiered at midnight. We don't do the premieres at 10 a.m. or 3 p.m. It's midnight. I know you goons are out and about it with the moon out and stuff, so we went ahead and did that. And we'll go over that with today's live stream. But we might even discuss the construction in the park. We'll probably talk about merchandise. We'll just kind of go around. Wherever you guys want to go, we're going to let you guys pretty much take the lead here later in the live stream and just discuss things. We
also got a question from Joe that I feel like is a good question. when will the official house placement come out?
Like the layout, the map?
Yeah, the map. So I think the map normally
The
map normally comes out what, like, I don't know, I guess it depends on the year.
It's usually the week of, though.
It's like the week of. However, sometimes they start putting up the like portals, and sometimes they put the signs up with the portals, and they put like a little black sheet over it, but you can kind of like peek in and see which house it is.
We don't advise peeking in. Don't do that. It's really...
don't touch it.
Don't touch it. However, though, if you stand there, you don't even have to walk anywhere. If you stand there, we get wind here in Florida with the showers coming in, and if you get in there, like, as the windstorm's kind of coming through and stuff, that whole tarp that they have, that little cloth, it's just blowing in the wind. Yeah. So you clearly could see the house, and you're like, oh, that's where that house is. That's where this house is. And usually we get that before they kind of announce the locations for it. So we'll see. Now, I will say tomorrow we are actually going to, this is the plan, depending on how late we stay up tonight. Because if you guys don't know, if you're new, we do a live stream after party over on our Discord, which I'm actually going to go ahead and get that in the chat real quick for you guys. Let me go to put that in there for y'all. But we go ahead and do a live stream after party over on the Discord. And
I will say that last year they had those like the house portals up, and the portal for like Spirits of the Coven, I think, was in
Fiesta
in the incorrect spot.
Oh yeah,
no,
and
Chupacabra was in the right
I know.
spot.
I didn't know you were talking about the right spot, but yeah, Hellblock and Spirits.
They were like swapped, so everybody thought they were in like the other spots, and then they moved them
because they released the map at around that time that the they didn't release the map, but the layout how it was going to be around the time the portals went up, and we noticed that two of them were different from the map compared to their physical location.
Yeah.
So that, yeah. But anyways, like I was saying, join the Discord. We have our live stream after party. Also, I saw somebody saying you guys all moved in. We are. We did just got like this. Well, technically, it was like the end of July, but we're still in the process of getting things set up. So we put up a temporary studio. This is kind of the same stuff that we had over in our older studio, but hopefully by next year, with all the big projects that we have planned and coming up, we'll have a different studio, hopefully, for you guys. So this is just a temporary, just to keep it going, to finish it up for this year. But as I was saying earlier, though, tomorrow, depending how late we stay up, we're going to try to get to Universal pretty early. We're going to try, because we're going to film an in-park construction update video for you guys. We're going to be able to see the food booths again. We'll be able to see more of Sting Alley, right? Sting Alley? Is it just Sting Alley?
Yeah.
You want to say Stinker, but it's Sting.
Yeah.
So Sting Alley, we'll go ahead and get some more up-close shots of that. That's kind of like, in the sense since after we did the last update. And then Dark Zodiac had a lot more updated to it. So we're actually getting more updates as it goes on. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe this coming week we should start seeing some portals appearing for the houses, potentially. Yeah. So hoping tomorrow. I don't think it'll be tomorrow, though. I think we still have some time until house portals come up. But I believe that later in this week we'll get house portals, and then we should start seeing the stanchions and the queue line set up for the main soundstage houses.
You know what I'm really excited for is to start seeing the food menus go up.
Oh, yeah.
That'll just be a few days before, but
like the week of. It could be earlier.
I'm really excited for that.
If I'm not mistaken, like, if you guys, anybody in the chat, do you guys remember when they actually started doing the food menus for last year's food booths? Because I remember like
it was like a week or two ahead, because then they changed. Remember, like No Chance in Hell was like $14.
Yeah,
and then they changed it, and then they did those little like soft previews.
I mean, and even for instance, like this video right here, when we did that video, that was when we did the Meats locker over in Sting Alley, and they were doing like a little preview for the food if you were just in the area.
Yeah,
that was like 2 weeks before. So we maybe, but because of Taste of Horror, I don't know exactly how. I don't think it'll be like it was last year, but
yeah, because they probably won't do those little like.
But I think we should still be seeing the food menus. Hopefully, that'll be exciting. If we get food menus out in the park, we'll try to make a visit out there that day. when we get notification to try to capture that for you guys, because that's a big deal for our channel. You guys know, big foodies here, love it. So, but let's go ahead. Yeah, I gotta pull that up. And then another thing to pull up, Miss Valoria Nichols, 3 months in the Fright Club, late to the live, but has anyone mentioned how great Stephanie's bangs are?
Thanks.
I haven't seen anybody, screaming it in the chat, unfortunately.
Valerie said it.
I know, Valerie did say it. I think that was it.
It's fine.
Valoria and Valerie?
It's fine.
Okay, fine.
Thank you.
Anyways, yeah, no, it's cool. No, the bangs look cool. She's trying to get the hair a little darker and all. She's getting into her October mode here. But Miss Valoria, great having you on the Fright Club for 3 months. Thank you for being a part. Oh, let me read what you said. Hold up. I did read it. Never mind. Read it. Let's just keep going, right?
Yeah, let's get into like the meat and potatoes of this live, because it has now been half an hour.
It's a good talk session, huh?
Yeah.
And also, we're late to the live anyways.
So let's get into
Steph wants to get done. It's time to go to bed, folks.
No, I don't want to get done. I just don't want people to get bored.
Are you guys bored?
We did lose like 5 people.
Good. We'll lose them all. All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, most anticipated for Halloween Horror Nights 32. West Coast people, you can join us in if you guys like. We're not going to talk about the West Coast stuff, unfortunately, but we will be discussing Orlando only. And we're going to start off with our scare zones first. Now, we are so delayed and behind when it comes to our stuff here in the house and work and things that we have been going on. I originally was going to have some artwork done for you guys for each scare zone in each house pop up on the screen, but we're just going to talk about it, go along with it. You guys obviously know the artwork for it and all that. So let me go ahead. Let me pull one thing up real quick, guys.
We also did recently get some aerial shots of the park and like just the construction that's going on and stuff. And it looks like they are planning for a very, very, very long queue line for The Last of Us.
Yeah, I think it's the same as the weekend. It looks big.
It looks huge.
It looks big.
It's like the same size as
the weekend
like B108.
Oh, I get what you're saying, yeah.
I
wonder if they expanded it, yeah. Because maybe they don't...
It might be the same size as the weekend, but we never wait in that line, so maybe I just...
It's because we got express pass.
So maybe I just never saw it fully.
Yeah. So anyways, let's go ahead and start off with the scare zones. We're going to go from our number 5. What was that part? That was stroke. We're going to go from number 5. And then we'll move all the way up to our number 1 spot. Like I said, we've already did video on this, so it's going to be kind of the same thing. But we're going to be breaking them down more in depth as to why it's our number 5 or so. And to put this out there too, if you guys were a part of our Discord live stream behind the scenes shot that we did of that video, you guys know that we kind of compressed both of our list into one just to make it easier for you guys to watch. Yeah. But we'll kind of discuss why certain things are here and there and what we would have had them and stuff. And then when we discuss that certain property, you guys can go ahead and let us know in the chat whether it's your number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 as in regards to scare zones in your hype list. And don't worry, we'll get to the other ones too, so save those for when we get there. Yeah. But let's start off with our number 5 scare zone on the hype list. Shipyard 32, Horrors Unhinged.
You guys know how I feel about boat-themed things.
You know how I feel about boat.
About boat.
I don't like boat. Yeah, like really, no.
Oh, I was just thinking about him.
What are you doing? Come over here.
I was like, where'd he go? Lay down.
There you go, lay down. Hold up, Hondo's here to join us, guys. Are you trying to say your anticipated list, or are you trying to ruin the live stream? He's like, I keep hearing them talk. I need to unplug something. You cutie.
Anyway.
Cutie.
So, I think that...
Go lay down.
The last few years, we haven't been, like, the biggest fans of the San Francisco, like, scare zone in general, just because of the size. It has been, like, such a bottleneck the last few years that, like, the zone isn't even fun to, like, walk through because it just ends up, like, you can't really see the scare actors because they're just, like, stuck on the sides.
Yeah.
But they don't have a stage this year, so maybe it'll be better.
So, San Francisco is just kind of not hit it for us. Conjure the Dark last year was really good. It was. But it just, in the prime of it all, it didn't feel like, even like last year's like Conjure the Dark, it didn't feel like a scare zone. It felt like more like a show zone, right? Same with Crypt TV. Crypt TV, they were all on stages. We understand the situation that had to go on with Crypt TV, but those are the past 2 years that we've gone to HHN, you know, doing content for you guys. So it just really hasn't been, San Francisco just really hasn't been it for us in regards to scare zones. So that's why we're kind of like hesitant about this one. But I think the positive is the fact that we don't have a stage presented currently right now over there in San Francisco.
Yeah.
That we think they're going back to the older roots when it comes to scare zones in San Francisco, just being like a scare zone. So I'm excited for it. And this goes to say that everything on our list for scare zones are pretty neck and neck. Like, wherever the wind blows with how we feel a certain day, that could change our list. But that's how close all of these scare zones are. They're not really like positioned any different. The same for the houses, except for the bottom 3. I think those are on a category lower than the rest of them. It'll be kind of the same thing like that. So, all right, but let's see. What do we got? Everybody in the chat right here.
I did a poll. It was like going slow, so I just posted it. But I did a poll just asking, like, is it 5th or 4th place, 3rd or 2nd place, or 1st place?
Yeah. Also, just a reminder, guys, when we're going to get to all the scare zones and houses, the scare zone we're talking about right now is Shipyard 32, so just hold that one on your ranking and let us know where it is on your ranking. We'll get into the other ones. Don't do the full list just yet. Save those for when we get up to it.
Unless you want to. We're not telling you what to do.
I guess, true. Mr. Jonathan Avila, though, popping in with the $4.99 saying, sorry I'm late, was making some radiatory alla vodka.
I don't think that's how you say it.
I think
radiatory alla vodka.
I was going like Radiator Springs there. Radiatory.
You sound like what's his name on Slinky Dog, where he's
Slinky?
like, yeah.
Hang on.
Oh yeah.
Does that sound like that guy on Slinky Dog?
No, when he's doing the
El Película.
Yeah, that.
Slinky.
Yeah.
In Spanish, yeah. Just
a
happy to
Slinky Dog Dash.
A la Slinky Dog Dash. Just happy to be here supporting 2 beautiful humans. It's great having you on board, as always, my man. Great having you. And don't worry about being late. We were actually late to our own live stream today. So, all good, my man.
Brian will be late to his own funeral. It's okay, so will I.
I think we both will be.
Yeah.
We're not dying yet. All right, so anyways, Shipyard 32. The concept I'm like questionable about. Like, you know, and today we actually got some like concept art for some of the creatures we might be seeing in these scare zones and stuff. So, cool. I actually really like it.
I don't know which one that is.
But yeah, I'm not too sure. There goes the light. It's number 5. It's in San Francisco. And I think this one, me and Steph, we both had this on number 5. This one we both agreed with, and we were quick to answer this. And it's just simply, he's good.
I'm interested. I'm interested because it seems like because they are all like related to Dr. Oddfellow, like. So the jungle one and the shipyard one to me are like kind of the same because they're just like different settings, right? Because the jungle one is like, oh, it's Dr. Oddfellow's like experiments and his oddities, and then the shipyard one is the same thing, just like they were in shipping crates and then got out. At least that's how I feel. So I think it will 100% depend on the characters and like the design for the characters in each of the zones and what we prefer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I get what you're saying with it. I get what you're saying. This one just doesn't intrigue us as much as the other 4.
Yeah.
To be honest, the other 4 are pretty strong. So I feel like that's why, you know, this one we're just like, number 5, but I still think this one will be fun. We'll have to see. So, but yeah, I see a lot of people agreeing though that Shipyard is kind of lower on the scale. And what about the poll? What are the poll results for Shipyard?
81% say 5 or 4, okay. And then 19% say 3 or 2.
Nobody says Shipyard's their most anticipated, huh?
No. I agree with Blue Hawk. It is giving Hellblock horror. I feel that same vibe.
I could see that.
We'll see what the characters
that.
look like.
Yeah, I can actually see how it's related. Well, in concept.
You just turn it off?
Yeah, seeing if that resets the timer on it. I don't know why it's like on a timer. Makes no sense. But that's it. Moving on to number 4, though.
Cool.
Let's go ahead and get that going. Also, how do I take this off? I don't know how to take that off. Whatever.
What is our number 4? Already forgetting.
Number 4, Jungle of Doom. Expedition Horror.
Is that really our number 4?
Yeah, we put Jungle of Doom
Brian
as number 4.
originally, when we talked about this, Brian originally had this as number 1. And then we kind of like talked it through and he like brought it down.
I really think this one's number 2 for me right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So this was like my number 1-ish, number 2-ish scare zone, believe it or not. And this was Stephanie's like number 4, like easily number 4.
Yeah.
And we agreed just to bring it down to 4. Like I said, number 1 through 4 is that tight where I'm okay with putting Jungle of Doom as number 4. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Because they're all that close. But yeah, Jungle of Doom, Expedition Horror. Why number 4, Steph?
I agree with what Valerie said. That I was really excited for it until they added the spiders. And now I'm like, no, don't care for it now.
The spiders are a little...
I don't like them.
And here's the thing, too. The spiders, like, they don't really bother me. Like, on the trees and stuff, you won't really see it at night. Unless they have them glowing and stuff. They probably will with some lighting. But that means that we could potentially have... like scare actors as spider-ish stuff where I'm like, ugh. Have you guys seen the movie 8-Legged Freaks? You guys know that movie?
I will say...
Just let them go. Go do your thing. Go clean the house. Go do your homework. Just don't cross the front. We got cords there. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm watching you.
So, first of all, I have not seen that movie. So I don't know what you're referring to.
We have to see that. Who's seen this? Let's see.
But...
okay, so we got some people who've seen it.
yeah, I love that area. I love Central Park when they do something with it that like is pretty. And I don't get like pretty from Jungle of Doom. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying and I agree, but that's why I think this is probably why we differ so much with the Scare Zone. I see this one as being pretty for what it is. With the concept of the jungle, you have bats hanging and stuff. I can really see like lanterns slightly flickering in this.
Yeah, but I don't see that in like the props that they're putting out right now. It's just giving like rainforest. Like I feel humidity when I walk through there.
I guess the humidity part, yeah. I mean, you'll get that anyways at any scare zone in Florida.
So, for example, because Blue Hawk said, I think this is a perfect scare zone for this area. And Brian feels that way. But, like, I think the perfect scare zone for that area was Twisted Traditions. I think that was, like I love the, like, quietness of that. But also, like, the lights in the trees, the pumpkins. You had like the pumpkin stilt walkers. Like,
yeah, that was a good scare zone for that spot.
Yeah.
But I feel like for the concept of us being with the jungle and all, this is a good spot for it. And I really do think that this one it's going to do well. I think the energy is going to be there. I'm honestly really excited to hear the sounds in this one. And like I said, what I really wanted when we were anticipating and speculating this scare zone, I want it to be where when I'm standing on one end, I can't see the other end. You know how Central Park is? It's got that little bend. You can kind of see the end and all that stuff in that scare zone, or technically that part of Universal. And I was like, I really want them to fill it up with a luscious environment to where I'm like, I can't see the other side, where I feel like I'm in the jungle. In our last construction video, when we went there and the last time we actually been to Universal, we noticed that they were really filling it up. And it's something easy that they can do. You know, filling it with lush environment's not hard. It's not like getting sets and designs for props and all. It's just, I need trees, bushes, foliage, get that stuff up. So seeing this, I'm actually really excited and happy for it. So that's why it's like technically like my number 2 spot.
Yeah.
This is one of those where I feel like I'm looking forward to it, but this one in particular could really be a hit or a bust, a major bust for me.
So I agree with 2 different people in the chat, Blip and also Mia. I agree with both of these things. So the bugs do add to it, in the sense that, yes, there are like crazy, like huge bugs and spiders and flying things in a jungle. So it makes sense that there would be like spiders. But I also agree with Mia that it kind of does make it a little bit more like tropey and like your standard like, well, we know that bugs scare people, so let's put bugs in there. Because we did bugs last year and we have these bugs left over. So
yeah, but I don't think it's going to be heavy on the bug side.
I hope not.
I really don't. Like, for instance, like that like we noticed like they had a concept that was drawn for a scare actor to be like this creature that's a bat. Right?
I like that. I think I will like that character.
And then imagine this, ready? At nighttime you're walking through, you hear the like whatever sounds like or whatever, right? And the like this something ominous. Like you got this temple deep in the jungle that is like evil and all that stuff, but you're not there yet. You can just hear it calling you. And as you're walking into that, imagine being in Hollywood, like how Scarecrow was when you saw Scarecrow in the distance. Any scare zone that goes there, you can see that and be like, whoa, I want to go through there. I feel like that's going to be one of those scare zones where you can see the bats hanging in the eyes of the bats and you can see the lights and it's just like dark and all that stuff. And there's like the campfire lit. I really think this one could be really good. I mean, I'm excited for that one, but I think it depends on the sounds. Like the sounds could really like make this one, or it could just be just something we just walk through.
Cool.
So, but yeah. So everybody, let's see what do we have numbers for Jungle of Doom? Let's see. We got 2, 5, 1s. We got a couple 1s for Jungle of Doom. There we go.
It looks like 45, 47, 2. 45. It keeps changing.
Give us what's the ranking on there, the poll?
47, 48%, 47. It keeps changing.
Start from the top. Just what it is. End the poll.
Oh, okay.
We're ending it.
Poll. Well, people are still voting.
You got 10 seconds to vote.
Well, I already ended it.
And Steph ended it.
47% said second or third. 31% said fourth or fifth. And then 20% said first.
Okay. So this is kind of like a
mix.
This is a good mix, but kind of like in the middle. Like this is a solid, like in the middle scare zone, which is good. I like to see that. That's good. That's good. That's good news. I want to see that for every scare zone, to be honest.
The horror thing said Rainforest Cafe HHN edition with all the like animal noises.
Fun fact for you guys that didn't know, I used to work at Rainforest Cafe back in the day.
You did.
So this is exactly what Rainforest was.
No, you're gonna walk into that zone and be like, nope, I hate this.
I'm trying not to think of those things.
No, I think you'll like it.
So, Southridge also.
Yeah. Also, you can't see it on yours, but it says like celebrate the first super chat. Oh. So it tells us when you do like your first super chat. Yay! And it has like little balloons.
Yay, Southridge. We love Janae. All right, Southridge Films with the $1.99 saying we just drove 3+ hours to Naples, but we here.
Nice.
Good having you here. Virtually.
I hope it was a easy drive.
Yeah, I hope all's good for you guys.
Yeah.
Enjoy Naples. I forgot what you guys are doing down there. I know you told us. Oh, that's right. Family. Tell the fam we said hi, but great having you on board, my man.
Furious.
Family. So, there you go. So that's number 5 on the list. Number 4 on the list. Now number 3 on the list, which is Dark Zodiac.
Dark Zodiac.
Yeah.
Yes. Also,
I forgot.
Really quick, just because I saw this question twice now.
Yeah.
Sebastian asked, question, would you recommend Stay and Scream or Express for early September? I would say it depends on your budget. If you like really want to get everything done and you have like the extra cash to spend, Express Pass, because then you don't have to wait in the long lines. And
that benefits you for the whole day.
Yes. But if you are really trying to budget, then you can still get a lot done with the Stay and Scream option. You could get like 3 to 5 houses done in Stay and Scream, like before it even gets dark.
Yeah, like in the first hour. Stay and Scream it's amazing. if you, like Steph said, if you're like really on a budget, stay in Scream. Even if you're like, oh, we could afford Express Pass, but it's going to be like cutting it close and all, I would still recommend staying in Scream because it gets you the advantage. You get the head start on the people, but you have to plan it properly.
And it also depends on how many nights you're going. Because if you're only going one night, it might be worth it to just do Express Pass just in case.
Yeah. Sebastian, do you have Instagram? If you have Instagram, follow me on Instagram. I still have like 80 people. I haven't gotten back to Instagram.
Yeah, you're making more work for
Actually, if you have Discord, I'm going to do this real quick. If you have a Discord, whatever you do have, send me a personal message. I'm going to go ahead and drop our Discord link real quick. Because if you do, join us over on Discord. Because then you can personally message me and I can give you a whole rundown. And then even tell me like the days that you're going and all that stuff, because I'll even try to give you like an itinerary that Steph and I would do based on how many days and your budget and all that stuff. But Stay in Scream pretty much you can knock out a good amount with Stay in Scream and it gets you a head start. But as you get later in the night, if you don't have Express Pass, and depending on what you do, you're going to be coming across certain houses that you're going to have to wait an hour plus in line for. And that's why we recommend the Express Pass, because no matter at what time we go through, you're not going to wait more than 30 minutes possibly for a house.
Yeah, and if you do like Stay in Scream and it's like your only night to go, you also might get to a point where like you've done several houses, but now like you have to wait in these long lines, and it might put a little bit of a damper on your night. But if you don't mind waiting in lines, then and you want to save money, then do Stay in Scream. But Express Pass is...
and that's the thing too, because, you know, there's food booths, there's foods to try, there's shows to watch.
Well, there's one show.
There is one show. But with all that, you know, with the Express Pass, that gives you a relief of, you know, stress in a sense, for the fact of you're like, we have to go specifically this time for this and that. With, you know, Express Pass, like, you know, there are certain things we have to be there at a certain time, like the show and all. But like the houses, I'm like, well, we'll just get there when we get there. We'll see what the wait is and stuff. We can use Express if we decide to. We can go get our food.
You will not regret doing Express Pass.
No, it might be hefty on the price.
Puts you into debt or something.
It might be hefty on the price, but there's not a single person that got Express Pass and they're like, that was the worst decision we made. It usually is a lifesaver. The only thing is, and this is a warning to all of you guys, if you've never gotten Express Pass at HHN and you are getting it for the first time this year, please pay attention. This is seriously really important. Please pay attention. And I'm not joking. This is really important. When you get Express Pass, there is no going back. The moment you purchase that Express Pass, you are making a contract with Universal and Hornite saying, I will probably buy Express Pass again next year. It's that good. It's that good to have. Same with the RIP tours. Like, when you do that add-on, it's so good. It's such a lifesaver.
Yes.
But it is so expensive. We purchased our first ever Express Pass for our passes last year. And the first night when we used it, we looked at each other and we're like, yeah, we'll have to do this every year. So every single year we save up. We have a separate jar that we save coins, dollars, whatever, for Express Pass to come back up for HHN. So also I do want to pull this up too. Blue Hawk said this in the chat as well. Can you guys make a Stay in Scream best route video? We were actually planning, like, this August, we were supposed to have, I think, 16 videos for you guys. And Stay in Scream was actually going to be one of them. And then the best optimal route for HHN was going to be another one. We unfortunately, I don't want to put any promises out there. I don't know if we'll actually get the time to do such a video. So what I will say is, for next week's live stream, we'll go ahead, and if you remind us, please remind us, because I might forget. But next week's live stream...
will remind us.
Yeah, make sure you guys remind us. Next week's live stream on Friday, we'll probably go ahead and discuss that too. What is the optimum route to? Because the only thing we're still waiting on is the location of the houses, even though we really know, like, pretty much all of them. We just like that confirmation just to make sure everything is set in stone.
I do think, like, last year for Stay in Scream, Richter's was new, right?
Yeah, Richter's was a different Stay in Scream location.
We didn't know that was going to be Stay in Scream until...
the event started.
Yeah, so it might not be like... we can give you what we did, like, last year, but it might be different. Also, the way that we do Stay in Scream is very different from the way, like...
we will give you guys the way we do it, and then we'll give you guys if we had one night to go, so you know, like the most optimum route.
Yeah.
Stay. There you go. So yeah, we'll do that. But like we were saying earlier, the scare zones. Number 3 is Dark Zodiac. This was I think this was brought down a little bit on our list.
Yes.
Simply for the fact of the last time we physically seen the scare zone, it was empty. They've added more since, but it's got that like industrial vibe in a sense to it. And I know there's still a lot more that's going to go on with it, but it just didn't catch our eye. But I have a feeling that there's still a lot more for that scare zone. It's one of those that we had in mind what Singapore did. Mm-hmm. And those photos that we got from Singapore, we fell in love with that scare zone. We're like, man, we hope we get this here. I don't think we're getting exactly that. It's tied in the story of Dr. Oddfellow, which is not a big deal. It just it changed that vision for us where we're like, okay, what we thought we're getting with Singapore and all that, we have to put that in the back of our mind because it may not be like that. So we dropped this down on our list to see what it is, but that doesn't mean it's like we're not excited for the scare zone. I mean, the streets of Hollywood has performed exceptionally well for scare zones. It's the second biggest location for a scare zone when it comes to the event. And we know some of our viewers are even, performing in this scare zone, and they told us like this one's going to be one to look out for. We know we got chainsaws, we got these creatures, from the constellations and the different zodiacs and all that stuff. So it's going to be a whole lot of fun. And I think the scare zone might be very energetic with what we're hearing from it and stuff. Yeah. And I think it depends on the costume designs.
Yeah.
If the costume designs are not there, I'm going to be disappointed. If the costume designs are fully there, like they did with Conjure the Dark last year, if they really go all out with that, I think this could be number 1 potentially.
I also hope, and I'm sure this is the case, but I hope that they bring more set pieces out, even like they have in the past few years, like how they don't have them out during the day, but then they bring them out like right before. Yeah. And they're like in the middle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the stages and different like set pieces that are in the middle of the street.
Like
I hope they have not a lot of those, but I hope they have those.
HHN 30, Lights, Camera, Action, Eddie's Zone there did really good with that. There was a lot of that last year for the Nettlewood Cemetery for Graveyard, Denley and Rest, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was a beautiful scare zone, but they didn't have a lot in that center, so there was portions that just felt empty and open. That we wish they had more in the center, to be honest.
Yeah, they had that one stage for the brothers.
And then one more down the road.
Yeah, one other
just
one.
Was it like just walls? Just
it was
walls?
where the guy in the ghillie suit hid out.
So, but what do you guys think with Dark Zodiac? I see a lot of 3s as well, so it seems like we're kind of all on par with that. I see it. We got a 1 as well.
Joseph made a good point that not all of the signs are represented in what they do have out so far. So there definitely will be more because they're not just going to have like a few of the signs. Yeah.
They're going to have them all out there. And like I said, if you don't see that right now, like Hollywood is that scare zone that's kind of been on the end this year when it comes to construction. And usually when I look at that, I look at it in both ways, and they go against each other, which is kind of stupid to have this thought process, but it either means that they have some big props that they want to bring out that's not coming out until later because they're still working on it, or it means that they have very minimal props and it's easy to put out, so it's at the very end because that'll be the last thing they can put together.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
But even like, I think that area is hard for them to put pieces out like beforehand because it's a walkway. They don't have a lot of extra like space off of the walkway like they do in like New York. And then the sidewalks are not super big and they need to have those free for people. And they also have the show, like they have Born and also horror makeup show that led out there. So they can't have like a bunch of stuff just sitting in that street all day. So I think that they'll bring a lot more pieces out like in that like transition period. I'm pretty sure.
I hope so. And like for instance, Blue Hawk even said love Vanity Ball, which the music of Vanity Ball was amazing. The vibe and energy there. That's a HHN 29 reference. But he said, hope there's a big set piece in the middle like that. And I agree. I really hope that Hollywood does get something large in the middle. It needs something big.
Yeah.
And I was really hoping that, you know, when it comes to Dark Zodiac, we get something like Singapore where they had these large, massive kind of sets, kind of like what we have in New York and in the Oddfellow zone at the front entrance. I was really hoping we got something massive there to cover the center, because I'm like, man, this is Dark Zodiac, right? This is about the Zodiacs and their constellations in the sky, correct? So I was like, why don't we build something in this zone to be reaching for that? It's a very vertical street. I know it's very stupid, symbolic, I get it, but
stupid.
Oh, when you laugh at me like that, I feel like,
oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it's stupid. You just
I get it, I know.
These big ideas
Big,
that
I know.
You know what I mean? Not everyone
Universal's
thinks
like,
so.
that's not gonna happen. Budget. But anyways, I just feel like
budget?
I feel like that would be such a good touch to the scare zone, for the fact that, you know, it is about the stars, and I wanted to see the scare zone when we're there to feel like it's very vertical and it's reaching up, or at least having things that are represented for that, and having you wanting to look up. So we'll see. There's still some time until the event starts.
Cool. So we got 25% say fifth or fourth, 48% third and second, and then 27% first.
There you go. So again,
middle.
a good mix, but right in the middle. Pretty good.
Yeah, cool.
Nice. I like that. I like seeing a good balance when it comes to the scare zones, even the houses too, because if you have where all the houses and scare zones have that balance, then you got a good balanced event. That's really good. If you have it where everybody's like 90% are like, no, we don't want this, you got a problem. So
yeah. Cool.
All right. Also, what is everybody's zodiac? What's everyone's zodiac signs in here? Stephanie, of course, Scorpio.
Mm-hmm.
Not hard to guess that one. And then I'm Taurus. What do we got here? I see we got some Capricorns,
Michelle's
some Pisces,
a Leo.
got a Leo. Get a good mix here, don't
Benny
we?
Bob is a Scorpio too.
Yeah, got some Scorpios as well.
Hondo came in to say, I'm what are you, Hondo?
Oh, I didn't even see him there. No, don't go that way. Go lay down. Go lay down. Go lay down.
I think Hondo is also a Scorpio.
November.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come here. Come here. You can lay down here. You can hang out with us. I don't mind you hanging out with us. You just gotta be careful with the cords, okay?
We got
you got some
we got like pretty much everything.
Sagittarius. Aquarius, yeah.
Pisces.
Aries, Pisces, Leo, Scorpio, yeah. Libra. Got some Taurus, okay.
Fred said Leo, a carnivore for life, because they're the lions.
The lions. Gemini, Libra, yeah. All right, so we got a couple mixed then. That's good. Is there one that we haven't named off? We got a Virgo too, yeah. Hondo, you can't go under there, buddy.
What's the twins?
Is that Pisces? No, Pisces is the fish, right? We're gonna like see if we can knock it all off. Search up all the
Gemini.
Oh, we have a
Of course.
Gemini. Yeah, we have a Gemini. Yeah.
Okay.
Here, pull up the list of.
I
Pull up.
didn't see any Cancer.
Oh, Hondo, watch your big butt. You almost knocked down this table. Pull up all the zodiac signs,
Goodness.
and we're gonna list them off. I want to see if we got them all.
Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius,
Aquarius, yeah.
Aries,
Yeah, Aries,
Libra, Scorpio,
yeah.
Virgo,
I thought I saw Virgo. Yeah, Virgo. Okay, we got a Virgo.
Taurus, Pisces, Gemini, Leo, Cancer.
Oh, do we have any Cancers here?
Yeah, I think we.
Oh,
I think
boom.
some
Yep,
listeners-
Blueberry just showed up. Cancer.
Yeah.
Is that all of them?
Yeah, I think so.
It sounds like we're missing some.
Were we?
I don't know. That sounded like it was so quick, so I don't know.
No, I think that was it.
Okay, oh, there we go. So, I think we have at least somebody from each zodiac in the chat, which is kind of cool. Representing.
Cool. All right, so next one is...
On to number 2.
Dr. Oddfellow. What is it? I keep wanting to say...
Collection of Horrors.
Oh, collection. I keep wanting to say Carnival of Oddities.
Me too,
That's
yeah.
The, like...
That's what I want to say. Yeah, so the number 2 for Scare Zones for our most anticipated is Dr. Oddfellow's Collection of Horrors most collection of oddities, whatever it may be. So collection of horror, that's our number 2. This one is located at the front of the park. This is that main entrance. The reason why this is easily my number 2 spot, we both actually had this at our number 3, but because of the way we were trying to balancing it out, we put it at number 2. That catwalk in the front is massive. It is gigantic. If you guys remember our last construction video, or anybody who does HH and construction videos, I'm pretty sure they've shown it in their video as well. It's a massive catwalk right at the front gate. So it's Dr. Oddfellow. He's kind of like the icon of this year. He's featured kind of everywhere with all the Scarezones. He's got his own house kind of stuff. His merchandise and all is coming out. So this one is, I'm interested to see where the lore is, because he is a big deal when it comes to Horror Nights with Jack's Pass, also Chance and all that stuff. And Steph and I, we are going to be doing, we got this big theory video that we have planned out, and he's a big part of it. We just haven't had the time, unfortunately, to do it. So I'm excited to see what he turns out to be when it comes to this Scarezone, and what else is going to be featured. I know it's all the other Scarezones kind of put together, but you also have that little caravan, little traveling thing. I think that will be. So we talked about this in the construction video, that we were like, do we think Oddfellow is going to be on the catwalk or by on the little caravan stage thing? Because when they were first putting lighting around the area by the Universe store, we were thinking oh, this will be Dr. Oddfellow's stage, and then they put that caravan up, and we were like, okay, so it is the stage. But then they put the catwalk up, and we were like, which one will he be at? I think the caravan is going to be the fortune teller. That if you go into, what is that street called? Somewhere in New York. It's by Finnegan's and Transformers. The little side street of New York. There's normally a fortune teller in the window, and there's a little sign that says that she's gone off to help Dr. Oddfellow. So I think she'll do a little show there. Yeah. And she was actually, I think they had a fortune teller in the little design that they had. Yeah, yeah. So I think that'll be her. And I think Dr. Oddfellow will be on the top, on the catwalk. But I do agree, Sal said that he hopes that there's some sort of facade over the stairs, because it's just a big black box now. Yeah, it's just and it doesn't look that great. There's nothing really thematical about the setup yet. I think we will be getting to that eventually. I hope. But when it comes to the Scarezone, that's all that we have. I think they've added some stuff recently, but I'm only discussing based off of the last construction video that we did, which was last week, Saturday. I can't hear it. I know. I know. So it's I'm excited to see this. It's just, this is a very different spot for the Scarezone. It used to go further back where Minion Land is now. So it's kind of up front. So I'm hoping that they don't really downsize it and all that stuff. Because lately, the past few years, that Scarezone's kind of been a bummer for me. It's been a late letdown. So I'm hoping they pick it back up. And I agree with what Blue Hawk said. And this is why it is not number 1 for me. I don't really like the compilation Scarezones either. I really don't care for when it's just a Scarezone of the other Scarezones. It almost kind of feels like we're missing out on a Scarezone. Because it's well, I've seen all this already. Yeah. I want something different. I agree, but with this one, because of the concept of all the Scarezones relating to Dr. Oddfellow and having a piece on it, that's one thing that I'm I'll let that fly. I do think that makes it better, but we'll see. I think having him up there and then the fortune teller, I think that'll make it even better too. Mm-hmm. I'm interested to see a table of contents. Exactly. I'm interested to see when it comes to that catwalk, who's going to be up there. Is it just Oddfellow? Because it's a big catwalk. They can have more than that. And what I'm wondering is when it comes to the opening ceremony, will they actually use that? Are they going to put some multiple people up there and make this whole big thing? And then he's this is what I'm thinking, because when you follow the Discord, the Discover Universal podcast, what they're explaining and all that, he's kind of welcoming people because he's trying to trick you and trap you and stuff. So I'm wondering if the opening ceremony, he's going to get up there and he's going to be welcoming people in, and then the gates open up and he watches you guys come in and continues that. So it goes from being an opening ceremony to a scare zone right away.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping it has that draw and that energy the whole time.
Two things. Joseph said it looks like it leads right into the Zodiac scare zone. Like they're almost like connected and transition into each other. I think that would be really cool, especially because the storyline is like, I mean, they are connected.
Yeah.
So, and the Zodiac is like how he gets his power. So I think that would be cool if it was like kind of all just one like big scare zone.
I wouldn't mind for the whole park to be a scare zone.
And then
around.
The other one, Horror Fiends said, do we think he'll be up there all night, or do you think he'll come down into the streets? I hope he comes down off of it every once in a while, just because
he will come down, to interact in the scare zone. Yeah,
because it kind of like him just being up there all night is kind of giving me like Pumpkin Lord, where like he's just stuck in one spot, and then you'll just have people like standing there like looking up at him, watching him do his thing.
I personally think he'll stay up there all night. Like when he comes down. Obviously, the scare actor is going to go offset, but I think they keep him up there. I wonder if they'll have some trigger parts up there for him to kind of go along with, kind of like Pumpkin Lord. But he's one of those, because he's a much bigger icon than Pumpkin Lord when it comes to the lore of HHN, that I wonder if they want to control the narration of what is said with such character and all. Because it ties with Jack, it ties with all the icons. So I feel like they would rather have him up there, control it and everything, and do that instead of having him in the streets for photos and communicating with guests. Because he's going to be like, imagine Jack just being in a scare zone, roaming around.
Oh yeah, people will be attacking him.
Yeah, you'll have too many people swarming. I feel like Dr. Oddfellow is going to be kind of that same attention. It's same with Pumpkin Lord. Imagine if Pumpkin Lord was free roaming in the scare zone. It's so busy and it's so hard, and especially in the days we are now, where we have this demonic device here. It's to the point where those scare actors will not have the free reign to actually be the character. They have to be put on a stage so they can perform it without being interrupted. That's how I feel like with Dr. Oddfellow.
I agree. Irfan, am I saying that correctly, also said, I hope Oddfellow can like freely talk, like he has like a microphone or something, rather than like the Pumpkin Lord where it was like a loop of an audio or like a trigger.
No, I agree.
Because
and I feel
listening to the same like 5 little phrases from the Pumpkin Lord did get a little, I mean, because we went so many times, for people who just go one night, they're not gonna notice it, but like for us locals, it was like, okay, we get it.
And here's the thing, because I look at it, this is like a face character, right? Whoever Dr. Oddfellow is, whoever's sit. We're not talking to you. We're talking to people. I know you don't see them, but they're there. They're ghosts. We have to talk to them. Okay. This guy right here will ruin your day and make it the greatest day ever, all at the same time. Right? Isn't that right? Just a wiggle butt. But like I was saying, though, what I'm interested to see is if he does have the free will to talk, you got to make sure, like, it's like a Jack situation to me. The person who is speaking, they all, if there's 2, 3, or 4,
they have to be the same.
They have to be in unison with the way they talk, the way they deliver it, because they're representing a specific character, look, voice, act, all of it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they don't have him freely speaking, if they end up doing like a trigger situation. And up there on that stage, that catwalk, you can have 20 different triggers. I mean, it's that long enough. You can have so many different triggers he can go to and hit when he wants to for certain things. I would love to see him have that free ability to speak, but I don't know. It depends on how much control they want on such character. I will say this, if it is controlled, if Horror Nights has this character really controlled with how it's presented and all, we will see Dr. Oddfellow in future years again for bigger stories, which Steph and I will talk about in our theory and all. But if it's more freely spoken and all, I don't think he'll be at the event unless they're doing a contract with a certain person to portray him and be him for future years.
Yeah.
So That's what I would say.
So for the poll, 5th and 4th place is 46%. 3rd and 2nd is 52%, and then 2% said first place.
So this is like in the mid to bottom half more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
Right. That's cool. There you go. Yeah, I was trying to look at the numbers, and I think I got in a tangent. I don't remember seeing numbers over here. See some 4s and stuff. And remember, guys, too, spam the chat with where these scare zones are on your list when we get to them as well, because I can see those clearly. And then Steph has the poll that goes up.
Also, someone said Beetlejuice had a mic, which is correct, but I just want to call attention to their name, which is Booberry Cereal Enthusiast.
You guys remember Booberry?
I mean, obviously this person does.
Don't they still do Booberries?
I think they do.
They still do Booberry? That's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, we're an hour and 11 minutes in this live stream.
We haven't even started the houses.
We haven't even started the houses. There's no rush, Steph. It's okay. Unless we got to be up at, 6 a.m. I said?
Yeah.
Or is it 5?
I don't know.
Might
Anyway,
5,
first place is going
that
to
leaves
be...
one more scare zone. Can you guys guess what it is? You're on our channel. So do you know what we're talking about?
Vamp 69.
Vamps. Summer of Blood. Vamp 69. Number one, why? It's vampires, right? It's a big concert. We're going to have music, which, yes, I love a scare zone with good music. I really hope this scare zone has like real music. I want it real music, not just these cover fake stuff. I want the music from 69 and before. So that'll be the make or break for me on the scare zone. I know the scare zone's already going to be good, but if they don't have real music from the 60s and like 69 and all, like I'm going to be disappointed, beyond disappointed. But if they do, I'm all for it. I think this is going to be one of the best scare zones. The looks great. It's in New York. It has an advantage. Any scare zone put in New York has an unfair advantage. It's the largest scare zone. Now we know we're going to get a tribute store there. You're getting the houses there. That is the spot. Like that, if you had to drop a pin in Horror Nights of where you would rather be at the night, it usually is always in New York, right in front of the tribute store, right next to the houses and stuff. But Vamp 69, we're getting vampires back.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say?
I feel like it's self-explanatory. It's vampires, it's New York. I'm not the biggest fan of like the 60s and the 70s. Like not the biggest fan. I like the music. Don't really care too much for like the like style of clothing and things like that. But I think it'll be really cool. I'm just excited to see vampires again.
I think Vamp 69 is gonna be fun. I think that's gonna have a lot of energy in that zone. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I personally never really got to experience Vamp 85, and it's it's my favorite scare zone of all time. And I've never got to really experience it. So I'm really hoping that this brings me that void that I never got to have with Vamp 85. Yeah. I hope it brings that void back, or fills that void up, I should say. And I just think it's gonna be fun. I think this scare zone's just gonna be fun throughout.
And people are talking about the podcast episode, and I agree. The podcast episode for this one
is this the one I listened to as well?
No.
Okay.
No. The podcast episode for this one was really good. And it makes me excited to see what they do with the van or the bus. Because in the episode, I won't spoil it if you guys want to hear it, but the bus is kind of like referenced. So
spoil it. I want to hear it.
Okay, fine.
Cover your ears. I was going to say it.
Well, the main character, or the girl the narrator, is talking about how like she was at the festival. She's just like a normal person. She was at the festival and she saw all this stuff happen. Like she said, like their favorite band was about to play, and all like this black like smoke or fog or clouds or something like that started rolling in, and then like just like all like hell broke loose, like chaos, all these vampires and everything. And then she like runs onto the bus and she's like hiding from the vampires like on the bus. So I think it'd be cool if like they have somebody in there.
It's like interactive, people going in and all that.
Yeah.
She said like black smoke, like fog.
I think so. Or maybe it was just clouds. I don't know.
Oh, like just like dark stormy clouds? Because if it was like black fog, could you imagine this year instead of getting your typical white fog, we get a black fog? Oh, that'd be so cool.
That would be cool.
I don't know how to do that. I don't know how they do that.
I just hope everybody's talking about how like it's very like bright and colorful, which I like, but I want like the juxtaposition of like a lot of blood. Like I want there to be a lot of blood in this zone. Because I think that on like the colorfulness is like a really cool
It's
contrast.
like having like when you're watching like a horror movie or something and there's like that like bright music playing as something disastrous is happening.
Exactly.
You know, I feel like the Scare Zone could be like that, but I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, it depends on the music. I know some people saying Creedence Clearwater. Yes, please. I want some of that. I can even see Fleetwood Mac. I can see that vibe potentially, but I get worried because I don't know. We'll just keep it at that.
I definitely don't think we'll get live music for this zone, but I think I hope we'll get like real songs, like songs that already exist by like known bands. But just like played over the speakers or something. Yeah,
and like the band that was supposed to perform is some unknown band just doing a cover and all this stuff. But there we go. So what do we got with the poll?
Sorry, I was reading this. Sorry.
Stuff disappeared.
I was reading this comment because someone said, Single Pringle said, first time doing HHN and vampires seems a little basic if it's just hippies with pointy teeth. And if it's your first time doing HHN, I could see where you might feel that way. But we've had vamp zones in the past and they've always been like the most favorite zone. Yeah. So
let me put it this way. This is your first HHN and you're like, oh, a vampire scare zone. Like, it's Halloween. There are going to be things themed to ghosts, pumpkins, things like that, right? But for the vamp scare zones, there's a bigger story told with it. So once you get into Horror Nights and you start looking at the lore, you realize like where this connects with a certain house or a certain place or a certain character, another scare zone. Because that's what this scare zone is. It is a part of a bigger story. So a lot of other things from years past and years future that we will be experiencing in years future. So hopefully, first of all, hey, congrats to your first Horror Nights coming up, which is exciting. We hope you enjoy it. And I can, pretty much guarantee you will have a great time. And hopefully you become a longtime fan like we have. And so when you start looking into the lore of it, like when it comes to the vamp scare zones, you'll realize like, oh, like, yeah. So
poll, 51% said first place, second and third,
that's big.
31%, and then fourth and fifth, 17%.
So this one is
first place.
This one's a higher up scare zone, as I thought it would be. I mean, Vamp's got a good history. We had Vamp 55, Vamp 85, and then now we're getting Vamp 69.
Yeah.
The Vamps they just do well. What can I say? It's just good being a vampire, I guess, huh? It's just good. So, but now we've kind of gotten into the intermission with our anticipated list. We have the 5 scare zones that we went over. Now we have to get into the houses. But if you guys know, I am dropping it one more time again here. Our Discord later tonight, we will be hosting a Discord live stream after party where you guys can chat with us about more of this stuff and get to see what you guys think about, the list and all this stuff, yada, yada, yada. We'll put that all right now in the chat for the Discord link. And earlier today, we had another Easter egg hunt. If you guys don't know, the past few Fridays, the day of our live stream, we'll have a Discord Easter egg hunt based on a certain IP or property that's going to be featured at Horror Nights. And this week, it was Chucky. Chucky was the main theme for this one. So let's go ahead and give a congratulatory round of applause to our Discord winners for the Chucky Easter egg hunt. Yo, folks, that was the Chucky Discord competitors, winners, what you will call of those folks. And like I said, we will be hosting a live stream Discord after party, our live stream after party on Discord. And we're going to be discussing a lot more on that, getting into the goodies. And if I'm not mistaken, do we also have, do we have one more hidden? I think we might have one more hidden. I'm not too sure if that is one after in the after party or not. But if so, we put the Discord link into the chat for you guys, so you guys can go ahead and join us. And yeah, we're getting confirmation. So we have another Easter egg that will be featured in the after party after the live stream. So make sure you guys join for that. But with that being said, folks, we are on to, as Stephanie said in the video, the main event. The houses featured at Halloween Horror Nights for this year. We're going to be going in order from 10 as our least anticipated up to number 1 being the most anticipated. So, as we go ahead and do this, when we list our number 10 house, number 9, all that stuff, make sure you guys don't put your whole list down right away. Just tell us, based on what property it is, where it ranks on yours.
What are they saying the music is?
Again?
We can't hear it, so...
How was the music? You know, I'm just going to turn the music off. Music's off. I'm not dealing with it. We're having so many technical problems. All right, music's off.
We love technology.
It's so funny because the music scale, we have it on a slide bar, and it goes from 0 to 100, and I usually always have it on 13, and that's what you guys have been hearing in the background for our live streams. I have it on 9. And everyone's like, it's so loud. Like, whoa. Like, what happened, you know? So what we're going to do is we'll list our number 10 house, which I'll say right now, because I'm not really that excited for this house. The Exorcist Believer. If you guys know, you've already seen our video. Obviously, it'll be the same thing as our video that we release at midnight. But number 10, Exorcist Believer. That is the bottom of our list for most anticipated. And so in the chat, you guys can go ahead and say either 10, 5, 6, 4, 1, wherever it is, and your most anticipated. And Steph is also going to be dropping a poll for you guys to also answer too, so we can keep track on that. But getting into that one, we have a McBain here with a 49.99. Holy smokes, got to dip out. Been salty the last few weeks thinking I'd have to cancel HHN for a surgery, but was able to move it to November.
Yay.
Hype is building again. Congrats on the house. Congrats to you. I don't know what the surgery is on, but like that is awesome news that you're going to be able to go to HHN this year.
Yeah.
So happy. Everybody, can we get a congratulations to McBain to actually be able to enjoy this year? Can we? What's a funny thing to say for McBain? Is that a thing? I'm thinking of Macbeth.
I don't know.
Macbeth, but McBain with the Simpsons little thing.
One thing, or I'll wait till you're done.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say something about Exorcist.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, everyone, so excited. McBain's going to be there.
Yeah,
and thank you for the $49.99. That is too much,
Way
by the
too
way.
much.
Should have saved that for your food and drinks when you get to attend the event this year. It's exciting. But thank you. We appreciate it. All right. Go ahead and say what you're going to say about The Exorcist. I'm going to be back. I'm going to check on something real quick.
Okay.
Can I go this way?
Let
me see which way I can go.
The reason why we have this lower, we have it in our last place, is because we honestly forgot about it. We were like doing our list and we got to like third place or something. And I was like, I guess Exorcist. And Brian was like, oh, absolutely not. That is not going in like our top 3. So we had to move it to the bottom because we literally forgot that it existed. And it looks like a lot of people agree. I don't think Brian has too much to say about this one. I think we both agree that like we obviously don't have a ton of information about like the movie itself because it doesn't come out until mid-October. So we have no idea what to expect on this house. And personally, I'm not like crazy about the trailer. Like I didn't watch the trailer and say like, oh my God, I can't wait for that movie. I was just like, okay. So we will see. It looks like as far as the poll goes, 8th to 10th place is 68%. 5th to 7th place is 22%. Second to 4th place is 10%. And then nobody said first place. So I think everybody is kind of in the same boat. They did that with Insidious 4. The movie was delayed until January. Yeah, I think we'll see. See, my biggest issue with like whenever there's an IP, if we haven't seen the movie, we'll go see it. Or not go see it, but we'll see it. We'll watch it before HHN so that we can understand like what's going on. And because we don't have the ability to do that, I don't know. We just like aren't anticipating it as much. It doesn't mean it won't be good because we have like House of a Thousand Corpses was I don't know if you can see that.
No, it's not pulling up.
House of a Thousand Corpses was a movie that neither of us have seen, but we both really liked the house. So it could be a really good house, but we're just not really anticipating it. We're not like hyped for it, really.
Everything Steph said, I agree.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree. Megan said, I'm going into this house as I do with originals, blind and hope for the best. Yeah, that's kind of how we are too.
I think that's actually a good mindset to have, where you kind of go in like just expecting it like an original be blind. I think that's a good.
Yeah,
it's not playing anything.
Elizabeth also said, it's Blumhouse. If we've seen the trailer, we know most of the movie. Yeah, I mean,
I guess that's true.
Yeah,
I think
the two girls come back. They are possessed. Then the lady comes in, and then they get the demon out, and then
maybe,
yay.
Maybe they don't.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Maybe not. But yeah, it's a living trailer, so I mean, cool, right? Yeah. It is what it is. That's all. That's really. I don't really have to say anything. I think whatever Steph said, I would probably.
I do agree with Sal though that I think it will be like. I think it has potential to be one of the scariest houses for the year.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
The Exorcist is scary. Those like the girls in the trailer. I think they're creepy looking.
No, I think this will be one of the scarier houses that we could face this year. I agree. I do agree.
I do.
So what do we got poll wise? What is everyone talking about with Exorcist?
67% said last.
And then 10 through 8.
10 through 8, yeah.
The bottom part.
Yeah.
7 through 5, 24, 4
I read it out already.
Oh.
So it's just for you.
I thought you were saying 67 said the last. I was like, dang, that bad?
10th place.
Okay, wow. All right.
So yeah, everybody's kind of on the same page with that one.
Yeah. You ready?
Cool.
For number 9? So Steph's going to get that set up. Number 9 that we had on the list from last night, midnight, our little video, was the Darkest Deal. Right?
Yeah.
Right? What was that one? Or was it the Blood? I think it was Darkest Deal.
No, Darkest Deal.
So Darkest Deal, right? This one, I feel like we're going to see a mix of things for people.
I feel like we might get a little bit of hate on this one.
A lot of people, I know a couple people that are really excited for this house, but then I know a couple people that are like, well, it's an original. It's on the bottom of the list. We'll see what we have.
Yeah.
This one's at the bottom for us. And I see like we got people now put in the chat saying exactly where it is. So we got some 5s, we got 9s, got 10s. I feel like this one's going to be kind of a mix depending on, your taste and things. When it comes to like blues, jazz, that kind of stuff, especially like the New Orleans stuff, Steph and I were not really big fans on that. That's just.
I need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, go ahead. That's really just not like. That's just not our taste and stuff. And it's in a sprung tent, which there's nothing wrong with a sprung tent because they've been doing great with the tents out there. It just doesn't give it. How do I put this? If this house was put in a soundstage, I would be a little more excited for it because I'm like, okay, they can do a little bit more with it. But this one, not so much. I'm not sure exactly what we're really getting. I still haven't even, to be honest, I haven't really read the description on this much. I haven't done any background research when it comes to this house for the Darkest Deal. I don't know. Like, this is one of those houses that I'm just like, I have to see to really judge it. And we will be doing this. I think I mentioned this in our video as well. We will be having our kind of listing for the houses and Scarezones as the event goes on. We'll have one early on in the event, one in the mid, into October. And then at the end of the event, we'll have our rankings for what we think of the houses. So I have to wait for this to get into the rankings to see what I feel like. But when it comes to doing like as an anticipated one, I'm not really feeling the vibe for this one. I could be wrong. I don't know. This one might be really good, but I see like right now, like we got a lot of people mixed and stuff. I see some 10s. I see some 5s, got some 7s in there. There's a 3 as well. So it seems like it ranges around pretty decently, as I would say, as a mid house. It is, like we noticed. Oh,
Brought the baby.
yeah. I'll be back. Oh no, go. Come on. I'll be back. Go ahead and start talking about Darkest Deal.
Now you're leaving.
I'll be back in a second. I had him set up.
Yeah, I agree with what other people are saying and what Brian was saying. Like, we just don't really know what to expect. I think they could make it really creepy, like the bluesy music. Like, they could make it really creepy. But we just don't know. We just don't know what to expect. I think I definitely need to listen to the podcast episode. Did that come out today? That's the one that I haven't listened to. And I do think that like knowing the backstory definitely helps a lot with getting more excited for it. So I definitely need to listen to that. And yeah, we've never seen Crossroads. We don't know much about like the story that this is like based off of. So that's why we're like, oh, I don't know. However, I will say the location for this in the past few years has been houses that we really like. So,
and that's what I was saying too. Like, because it's in a tent, it's lower on my list compared to it being in a soundstage where I know they could do more. But in years past, the tents have been performing very well.
And this location was
Descendants last year.
Yeah, and then Puppet Theater.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we loved both of those. So
yeah, exactly. But yeah, and I know they got a podcast on it. I haven't. Did you listen to the Darkest Deal podcast?
I think that one came out today, and I have not listened to it yet.
That one just recently came out. See, we haven't heard that one yet. What is the polling that we have for it right now?
8 through 10 is 38%. 5 through 7 is 43%. 2nd through 4th is 17%, and then
first is
first. I almost said one person said second.
What first place we got? 4%.
4%
now. Up,
yeah.
So it's mixed up in there, more towards the middle section, I would say.
I think it's an interesting story. I think it's just such a different story. It's not like your typical. It's really not your typical like trope, like horror trope. Which, like, at least with those, we have some idea of, like, well, I know I really love witches, so I'm going to like that house. Like, we don't really have anything to base off of that. You know what I mean? Because it's so different.
Two things. One, Janice said, I do like the artwork that was released today for Darkest Deals. I actually haven't seen that artwork yet.
Me neither.
Let me pull it up real quick. Let me see.
Was that part of the podcast episode, or... Oh, maybe it was in the All Hallows Eve boutique.
Possibly.
I know they put like signs up in there. Go to Bryce's Instagram. He posted. I have heard Devil Went Down to Georgia.
I love Devil Went Down to Georgia.
I used to play Guitar Hero, Legends of Rock, like nobody else, so I know that song like front to back. But I mean, it's still just, I don't know what to expect as far as a house goes. And that's how I kind of feel. We'll get to this, but that's how I kind of feel about Dueling Dragons. Like, I'm like interested, but I'm like I don't really know what to expect from that. Yeah, Bryce just said he has it on his Instagram.
So I'm pulling up on the Universal store right now. I'm looking at some of the merch too.
Okay.
But this website, I can't
I
believe
know their
they
website.
don't. Where is the Horror Nights website at? Like, what is going on? You know. But yeah, so it is what it is. Like, let's see, stuff's gonna pull. There you go. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, but see, like, I mean, it is cool. Don't get me wrong, but like, it's just like the devil goat-like, you
The
know,
devil
kind of
is
thing.
terrifying.
I guess, yeah, but
I think that was
to
pretty
me,
cool. If it looks like that, it will be cool. But this
see,
is just artwork.
but what I'm saying is that like the only antagonist in this story where it's just the devil popping out? Then to me, it kind of comes to be like
Repetitive.
and yeah, it becomes repetitive. And for instance, I might be wrong because like you guys said, there a new podcast came out explaining more to it. We have to listen to it, but it could be repetitive to me unless obviously like the devil can take many different forms, and if he does, that could be really cool.
Yeah.
Seeing in this form, but I'm interested. It's one of these houses where I can't say much until I actually go and experience this house. That's why usually those types of houses go in the bottom of my anticipated list, just because I don't want to say anything about it yet.
Yeah. I also Heather asked like how much do you like the houses this year altogether overall? And I will say like we're really excited for the lineup this year.
This is
like,
a strong year, guys.
Like I think Exorcist is like way down here, and then literally like Darkest Steel being the next one is like up here, and all the other ones
and all of them
like
are
this.
in that. Yeah, we said this earlier in the live stream. We also said it in the video. The scare zones, besides Shipyard 32, which we knew was at our bottom for anticipated, the other ones they're neck and neck, where you can flip a coin, whatever it lands on. I'm like, yeah, sure, that's my number one. Like that's how like exciting we are. Like that's just. I think this is one of those where this year, every single concept, everything they have that's put in, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Last year, the concepts, they sounded good, but when we actually did some of those, they did not do so well. So last year kind of had this just unbalanced feeling. HHN 30 had obviously the situation that they were going through, HHN 30, where there was kind of repeat stuff. And we're like, oh, whatever. This is that first year where we're kind of like we're really getting into it when it comes to the properties and the originals and all that. So I'm excited to see how that comes out to be. But all the concepts that we're getting and stuff, I'm like, these are good. Like that'll be good. Like Darkest Steel, like even though it's number 9 on the list, I'm like, I want to see what this is going to be. Mm-hmm. I'm very interested to see. I'm going with an open mind. I'm trying not to hear too much about it because I want to go in and be surprised with it. And that's how it's going to be for all the houses coming up on our list. Like number 10, it's easily The Exorcist. And then it's number 9. And then 8, 7, 6, like they're right there. And then 5, 4, 3, and then 2, 1. They're really just tight knit when it comes to that. So yeah. So that's number 9 for us, The Darkest Deal. And did we do the percentage on that one already in the poll? What do we have in the poll? What does the viewers say?
10 through 8 is 35%. 7 through 5 is 40%. 4th through 2nd is 20%, and 1st is 5%.
Good balance.
Yeah.
Good, balanced. You know, in the mid kind of.
Yeah. Wait, did anybody ever used to watch Family Feud when they would be like, and survey says? That's what that reminded me of.
Yeah, survey says. I'll do that too then. Survey. All right, so number 8 for our most anticipated houses. We also have another original, and this one is going to be Blood Moon Dark Offerings.
Which the art for this looks really cool too, and it almost looks like
the art
vampire.
For all of this looks good.
It almost looks like a vampire with the teeth.
Yeah, I guess creature cult-like kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now, Darkest Deal. This one was actually lower on my list during spec season, and it's still kind of lower my anticipated. But I like the fact that it is a colonial era time period. I'm really hoping that, you know, they have like these buildings and that vibe of what it's like being like in the colonial time periods and stuff. Because I like that. I personally like that. When it has like the blood moon and all, and it being in a soundstage potentially, I really hope that they have it like this full moon that's in. Can you imagine? I did say this a while ago where they have it projected on the wall, but could you imagine if they had a giant moon hanging from the center like a disco ball, and it's all red, and you're walking around the colonial like town with this moon overhead? That's like, it looks like it's dripping blood from it and stuff. Like that could be really cool. I think this one, and I'm hoping that this house has like no color to it. It's just blacks and reds and that dark vibe. If that's the case, this will be a top 3 house for me for this year. Easily. Yeah. But like I said, it's an original house, so I don't know really what to expect until we get in there and physically experience it ourselves.
Yeah, again, like it could end up being in our top, but we just don't know what to expect. I did listen to the podcast episode, and when we first had this announced, I was really excited for it. And then I don't know, like the podcast episode to me it does seem a little generic, but that might not be the case. Like we might go through it and it might be like really, really like different and cool.
I hope so. This one, like, I want this one to perform well. For some reason, I'm like, I hope this one just performs really good. So I don't know. I feel like really when it comes to that, that's all I can say. I just when it comes to the originals, all I can say is like I just got to experience it to really say. But we put it in the bottom of our list. It's at 8. But like I said, 1 through 9 are pretty tight knit. They're right there with each other. So what do we got with the survey says?
8 or 10 through 8, 48%, 7 through 5, 36%, 4 through 2nd, 9%, and then first, 7%.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of like 8s and 9s over here in the chat as well. Yeah. So that's probably respectively where it's going to be. But I'm hoping we don't get a Spirits of the Coven situation. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping that we get like a Wicked Growth situation with this house. It'd be great for every house to have a Wicked Growth situation, you know? So, but yeah, so let's see. Somebody else said the episode podcast is really good. Blood Moon sounds like it could be very scary. Descendants Destruction was a house that I had the same feeling. And when I went through, I loved it. That would be nice. I hope we get that vibe like Descendants because we love Descendants.
We did.
I think we actually love Descendants the more we went through it, like later on in the run. It kind of grew on us. So yeah, so that's Blood Moon at number 8. But we're gonna head over to number 7, which, to be honest, I would drop this one down. To be fair, but I think as more and more I think about it, I do get a little more interested for it, and that is going to be Chuckery. Oh, Chuck. Oh, I even messed up the name. Chucky, the ultimate kill count.
I was not excited for this until they described like what is actually like the premise. And I'm really excited for like the premise of it. Like, I think it sounds really cool. I love like Brian's going to roll his eyes, but I love when things are like meta. And I think it'll be, if they do it right, I think it'll be really cool. But it could very easily be really cheesy or like not the greatest. So we'll see.
This house was like 9th, 10th place for me. But because of the description of how Steph, I guess the word is meta. I hate that word. But
just because you don't.
I just don't like the word.
Yeah.
Anyways, since this house is like, it really is like Chucky at HHN. Like he's physically there and they were building him a house and he wasn't happy with it. So he kind of takes over and controlling it. I think that kind of is cool. Like I do like that where it is that connection with Horror Nights. Like I want to see what Horror Nights was building for him. And then maybe it wasn't like as serious as he wanted it. So he takes it that step up. I don't know. I could see Horror Nights building a house for Chucky. And then I could see Chucky getting in there and upping it even more, which is why I've gotten a little more excited for it. Because Horror Nights does great houses already. I'm taking it with that mindset, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's Chucky. And I feel like this one's going to be in the Fast and Furious location, which I do not really like that spot too much. We only got it last year, and I didn't really care for the Blumhouse section, especially Freaky with it. So I'm hoping since it's one house that it feels more complete. It feels bigger, to be honest. What do we got?
I think what I'm stuck on.
Chuckery is 5 for me.
Yeah, did you see that?
Yeah, Chuckery is 5 for me.
Chuckery.
I
think what I'm stuck on is like Sandy Ben said, I want the full-sized human Chuckies because it would be funny. That's what I'm like stuck on is like I don't think that the doll-sized ones are scary, but I also don't think the human-sized ones like
I can't stand the human.
They just look cheap. Like they got the costume at like Spirit Halloween. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna say this. Chucky's at number 7, and that we're pretty, like, to be honest, like, being nice about that. He should be grateful he's at 7.
Yeah, we will see. And I also like the way that they had the scare zone. What was that? 28 or 29?
Yeah, HHN 2018.
The way they did that, where it was like his minions were the characters, I think that could be good because it's not just the same Chucky doll over and over.
And I actually loved that scare zone. When Chucky had a scare zone in 2018 for HHN 28, I loved that scare zone. And they had just Chucky as the puppet, right? Come out of the good guy's box and stuff like that. They had a little stage for him where he talked and he's like, "Hello, you losers," and things like that. So that was really enjoyable. I think that is the same like vibe and carry out they need to go with into this house as well. I'm hoping that we get him as puppet, not like
Elizabeth explained it. In like the previous Chucky where it was life size Chuckies, you go through like and become like toy sized. So that was like why he was full sized. Okay. So it's like Andy's backyard. Chucky.
Where's Chris? Take a shot.
But we have 8th through 10th, or 10th through 8th place is 29%. 7th through 5th place is 40%. 4th through 2nd place, 26%. And then 1st place, 5%.
Okay. So a good balance in the middle then for the house.
Like
I expected for it. Even Sandy Benson, John Murdy got me intrigued with the Hollywood version, though. I will say, I haven't really been active on Twitter and following with that yet, just because we have so much going on. But the things that I have been seeing from John Murdy when he discussed this house in particular with Chucky, it's always been like there's something special about this house. So it's got me intrigued, but I've had people in the past talk things up, and it's just done nothing but disappoint. So I'm going to wait till I experience it to see if John Murdy is really meaning it, because we're going to Hollywood. We're going to be able to see it if he's really talking or if he's just kind of blowing smoke out there. So here you go. Yeah. Chucky number 7.
Cool.
Surprised it's that high up on our list.
What was 6?
You tell me.
Yeti?
Yes, you got it. Number 6, guys, on our list was Yeti Campground Kills. This house, guys, I'm actually really freaking excited for.
See, we came to a compromise this is one of those on this we were split. But I'm sick of the Yetis, to be completely honest.
This one's high up on my list. I have high expectations for us. And it's not even really the Yetis. It's just the setting.
Yeah.
It's at a 1950s like campground. I think that'd be fun. 1950s campground. See, but I want it to be campy.
If it was a 50s campground setting, but it was like slasher, I would love that.
But it is. It's the Yeti. And he's like in a leather jacket with a knife going around.
The only thing that I like about the Yeti is the costumes are so big that they do. Like, I get good jump scares in those houses because they're so giant. Mm-hmm. But I would have really preferred, like, a slasher.
I get what you're saying. What I really hope for, I hope that this house is not scary as the focus, but campy. I want it to be, like, a campy house with, like, a terrifying creature like they say Yeti, like the Bigfoot. Where it's like terrifying and it's huge and all, but it's like, it's all funny. Maybe you come across a scene where like the Bigfoot has like some crazy clothing or something they were trying on, and they're, it's like, I want it to be campy and all, but also like that there's like an objective in this house where we have to go to the ranger station, and you should see that in the house. And I want it to be like a Dead Man's Pier situation with the lighthouse is where we have the ranger tower.
Mm-hmm. So 2 things. Erica said like in the podcast, which I did listen to the podcast about like the individual houses, or the one that it was like 3 parts, and they talked about all the houses, and the creative team was on those ones. And I wasn't fully listening, so I might have missed some things, but the Yeti thing is a running joke amongst them that like every time they've used the Yeti thing, they call it Yeti, but they're like, like one's a Bigfoot, one's a
they're all the different versions.
Snowman.
Yeah, they're all the different versions.
They're different versions, but they call them Yeti for all of them, which is kind of like a running joke that they have. But I don't know. I just like don't love the Yetis. It's kind of like the whole sea
The nautical vibe.
nautical thing.
I have a feeling that this is going to be one of those houses that Steph's going to go through, look back at me, and be like, "That was actually pretty good."
I hope so. And the other thing that I was going to mention, which this will make it much better for me if it is, Irfan said, "I hope it smells like ET," which I would love that. I hope it looks like ET, like when you go through the queue line for ET and they have the huge trees in there and it looks like you're in a forest because it's dark and they have these huge trees and it just like feels like you're literally in a forest. I hope it's like that.
Steph literally took what I was going to say. Exactly that.
Mm-hmm.
When I picture this house, I picture us going through the queue line of ET. I want, since this is supposedly going to be in a soundstage, I want these giant trees from floor to ceiling. I want it to be where you almost can't see the ceiling because you have all these trees overhead. I want to feel like I'm out in the woods. I want to feel like I'm camping. And, to have that music in that era played and all that stuff, but in the campground and the costume designs and choices and all. This is like, I feel like this is going to be one of those really good houses, and I'm not even nervous about it. I think this one is going to do well. So I originally had this in my top 3, I believe, or in my top 5 easily. And then we came to a compromise of putting it at 6. But I think this one people are going to like a lot.
Yeah, so. Sasquatch. That's the other one.
Yeah. So right here in the chat, I'm seeing 3s, 5s, 7s, 6. I see a 9 in there. You know who you are. I'm looking at you. But yeah, we got a good mix in the middle.
Yeah, 10 through 8 is 18%, 7 through 5, 50%, 4th through 2nd, 26%, and then first place, 5%.
So very strong middle presence.
Yeah.
I would say about 4 through 6 is probably the thick of it right now. So, but yeah, can you imagine like going through the ETQ line and that being a house?
It'd be cool if they have like 50s style music playing too.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be nice. So now with that being said, we're at 1 hour and 52 minutes, guys. And we're just now breaking the top 5 of our anticipated list. It's crazy.
Yeah.
We've been on this long. We might break a record.
I was going to say, should we rapid fire?
Can we get why you don't want to break a record? Can we get some confirmation in the chat? What was the longest live stream that we've had previously from this? Because we might potentially break that. Depending. We'll see. All right, so moving into the top 5 that we have for our most anticipated as it is for the houses. At number 5, we have one that I actually placed higher than this, but we came to the compromise, and that is Dueling Dragons, Choose Thy Fate. This is the house that I'm more nervous for than any other house, as in regards for how well it would do with the viewers or the guests.
So the reason why I originally had this one lower is just because like I feel like I really like medieval things. I love like Game of Thrones, all of that, but I like when it's more of a fantasy vibe and not what?
No, so you brought a Game of Thrones reference. I was like, ooh.
Yeah. I love when it's like fantasy, things like that, more drama, not horror. I don't find that stuff scary. So like I don't know if I'll find this house very scary. We'll see.
I really don't know what to expect with this house. I know the description for it. I know the layout. I don't know what to expect for this. The name in this house, Dueling Dragons, alone carries this house to me for a top 3 contender. I loved Dueling Dragons. The roller coaster that was an Islands Adventure. I loved that ride. That ride, Dueling Dragons, was the reason why I was like, Universal has the best coasters. Like it made Universal that much more special for me. And I love Dueling Dragons. I believe I think I have video somewhere of me riding Dueling Dragons. I used to bring my phone out and record it. I know you shouldn't do that, guys. Don't do that. But I did it when I was a kid. And I loved that ride so very much. So I'm excited, but that makes me really cautious because if this house is not good and it's not received well, I'm going to be so bummed. Like, It's just hard. It's a
Yeah.
roller coaster now put into a haunted house, but it's the story around it that's being transformed.
I will say I can't think of the last time we had a like medieval themed house at HHN. So it will at least be different.
Yeah,
So
and
I like variety. I don't like when it's like the same things
agree.
over and over.
Something that Steph mentioned too recently, Game of Thrones. That is my dream house for HHN. Like I said, I have blueprints everywhere when it comes to this being a house and the concept for it. This is like that test for it. If we're getting dragons in it in the medieval time, I really hope this one does well because it gives that potential for it.
It's where it was where like Hagrid's is, right?
Yeah, Hagrid's is in this one.
Said it.
So I'm nervous. I don't even want to say anything about this house because I'm afraid it's not going to be like that. All I'm really going to say is it's got the iconic name Dueling Dragons. It's based on the story from the coaster that we had in Islands. And the fact that we have, and I want to confirm this, I might be wrong. I might be reading this wrong, but we have different endings. And I'm not talking revolving endings. I'm talking about choose endings, correct? That we can choose from?
I don't know.
Because I know they said there was like 4 different endings, but is there 4 different paths that when you come up, there's a house attendant saying pick one of the paths and just keep going, and you pick whatever path you want to go through? Is that going to be how it is,
or is it going to be like Legends where it's like everybody gets the same ending but it changes?
Yeah, it's like revolving in a sense.
Yeah.
So, like I don't know. I really hope you get to choose because that means every night we go to the event, we're going to have to go 4 times in that house to just get a different ending and then find which one we really like that we'll try to go to and change it up. That house, just having that choose factor, that house has a rewrite ability or re-walk through ability or whatever.
Yeah.
Up to 4 times. Because like with Legends, which was really cool, houses that have different, like Icons did this in HHN 30. Legends did this last year for HHN 31, where when you go there, you're expecting a different ending. Legends, you had it where whatever that ending was, that's what it is for the day. So you don't have to go back to it. Icons, depending on the time you went in.
Oh, yeah.
Icons, depending on the time you went in, had a different person up top on the chair and all, which was kind of cool. But this one, with it being presented to you, you can choose.
Yeah.
Choose thy fate.
Maybe it'll be 2 paths. And then those people are saying like 2 paths, but then like the winner in each of those paths changes because for the coaster you could pick fire or ice. So maybe there'll be 2 paths that are like fire or ice. Yeah. But then like those
revolve with their ending.
Yeah.
Maybe. What I hope is it's not like you choose to go down one path and it's something, and then you choose to go to the other path and it's technically the same thing. They're just like, oh, you get to choose, but it's like the same outcome. I hope they're very different, and I think they will be. But I think it's really cool. Someone said Island and the Merlin wood track is on it. Oh, we have to check that out.
Cool.
That's nice.
I sent that to Brian because he loves the Iowa soundtrack.
Islands is one of my favorite theme parks for concept. I think Islands really hit the nail on the head when it came to original concept for a park or a land or a theme or music or anything. I think Islands is the sweet spot when it comes to that. So, all right. So there you go. Top 5 breaking in. We have Dueling Dragons. What do we have on the survey?
A little bit higher. So 10th through 8th, 15%, 7th through 5th, 32%, 4th through 2nd, 43%, and then 1st, 10%.
Yeah. So this is
like 2nd through 4th.
This is up in the like 5th position kind of thing, top 5 for a majority of people, which is it's good. I think this one will respectively be there for the anticipated. That's what I was expecting. It's just this one I think I'm more worried about as a house than any of the houses. Yeah. So we'll see how that one comes. Let's see what I got over here too. I want to see if I'm missing any. See, I got a lot of 1s for this one. Got a lot of 3s as well, some 2s. 5s and 6s, so
nice.
A good majority up there, mid to top. All right, number 4, guys. Number 4 that we have for our most anticipated is actually the last. Well, this one is the last original stated by Horror Nights, But this one is, of course, about the icon himself for this year, Dr. Oddfellow's Twisted Origins.
I almost typed in Twisted Traditions.
Twisted Taters. So Dr. Oddfellow, right? This one we have as number 4 on our list. I'm interested to see what this is.
I love like dark carnivals, so that's why I'm excited for this one.
And like Steph said right there, it's one of those like, it's not like a clown carnival. It is like dark carnival. So there's a different vibe to it in this circus that you're going to be in that I'm interested to see what they have.
Yeah. What
Dr. Oddfellow has to show for us.
And if you listen to, I think I said this in the video, but if you listen to the podcast, they like, she's describing like a scene of going into the carnival, and it honestly was like pretty dark for like Universal. I know it's HHN, but like for Universal, like it was pretty dark. And I was like, if they have that in the house, it's gonna be bloody.
A bloody house,
which I'm excited for.
And this house ties big into the lore of HHN and things like that. And I can't really get comfortable. I'm gonna have to back up. I'm on carpet right now with a rolly chair, so you guys know it doesn't roll. But I'm excited to see where the lore takes with this house, and what to showcase. Obviously, like, is Jack and Chance going to be physically present in the house? Are we going to see something that relates to them in the house? That'd be interesting, because those are icons of the event. So this kind of takes it back to the past and all that stuff, and showcasing that. That's why this one's higher up on the list, is simply because it has to deal with HHN lore and the history and the timeline of things.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
And they did also say in one of the podcasts that there will be like a Jack cameo in this house. So fans of Jack will like it.
Yeah. And he should be, technically, but even though they kind of retconned some of their story they read earlier, I'm not going to get into that. I just... Anyway, save that for another live stream, guys.
Anyway, we have...
what is the survey? What we got?
10th through 8th place, 13%. 7th through 5th, 23%. 4th through 2nd, 56%. And then 1st, 8%. So mostly like 2nd through 4th.
Yeah. So probably around the 4th.
Top.
Yeah. Top 5%, I would say. Yeah. Or top 5%. Top 5. Here in the chat, I'm seeing some 4s, 3s, 1s, and 8. A 4, 1, 8, 6, 4, 2. So I think 4 is probably the average that I'm seeing in the chat. So I think 4 is kind of right where we got it. Seems like we were all kind of
around the same.
We got the same mindset in it for the most part, which is a good thing. Also, just a reminder too, guys. After our live stream here, just a reminder, we will be going on Discord, and I'm going to put the link for it in the chat for you guys to join us there for our live stream after party, where you guys can chat with us. We'll just discuss random things and stuff like that. And Steph and I, we may not be on for too long tonight, just for the fact that we will be getting up super early in the morning, and we're going to try to get a construction video for you guys tomorrow at the park.
Yes.
So
now we're getting into the top 3, which I feel like is where things are going to get.
This is where this is an interesting part of the conversation. Yeah. These right here, these are in their own category, right? 10th place, which was Exorcist, was its bottom. It was in its category. 9th through 4th, they're in their own category.
You're good?
Yeah, I'm having moments here. The 9th through 4th place, they're in their own category where you could literally flip and flop them in any order. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. These right here, respectively, these are my top 3. And these, they could also kind of flip depending. But I think I'm pretty spot on with where we have them on how I feel.
Yeah.
And we're talking minimal things is why this is set.
Like Michelle said, the top 3 are legit tied for first.
Yeah. I mean, really, that's what we're going to say. These are all number 1 for us. These next 3 are number 1. It comes down to opening night to closing night. Which one's going to perform to get the top 1 in our spot?
Yeah. So, number 3. The Last of Us. We know some people are going to fight with us on that.
Last of Us, easily number 3 for me. Really excited for it. We've never played the game.
Yeah, and I think that's the main reason why.
We've never played the game. We've seen the television show on HBO, which was really good, and it was very closely related to what the game had. So it gave us an idea on it. But we've never played the video game, so we never got to dive into the world of The Last of Us to experience it. From everything that we've heard and from everything that we've seen, we love. I really think that this one, it's a zombies house, right? Some people might be like, I'm tired of zombie houses, but this is a unique approach when it comes to the zombie category. We have something called clickers.
You're going to have people say they're not zombies.
I know, and that's what I'm getting to. I'm talking the zombie category. You guys know what I mean. And it's the clickers, their concept and all. It's such a unique sound that they give.
That's that
it makes them seem more aggressive, more animalistic, like, where a typical zombie is like human, and they could run and all that stuff.
Where this is more like animal.
This makes it seem like this is like alien to me.
Yeah.
Where there is no connection from what it was as a human before to what it is now. So I feel like the scare factor for these are going to be, it's going to be higher up than a traditional like zombie like type of house.
Yeah, I think the sound is going to be really creepy. I'm really excited for that.
I mean, easily.
Yeah. We should watch some walkthroughs. Yes, we know they're not zombies.
Folks, I know they're not zombies, guys. We're talking HHN. You're on an HHN channel. There are 5 types of creature sets when it comes to HHN lore. The clickers fall into the category of the zombies. It's when the dead rise. That's what a zombie is. A clicker is literally somebody who kind of transforms.
But would you say they're technically not dead?
No, I mean the human's dead. They're not in control. They're being controlled by a virus.
Yeah,
a
but
fungus,
they never died
else.
And then came back.
Yeah, it's the same with the human, like a zombie. It's in the same category. It's when the human itself is not in control by either a virus, fungus.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
I know you are, and I'm going to fight you to the death for this.
Anyway, I think this one will be a really good house. I think from what we've heard, they've been working really closely with the creator of the game. So obviously it's going to be like spot on with the game.
Yeah.
Which will be really cool for fans of the game. We just haven't played. So I feel like that's why it's a little bit lower. I mean, not lower, it's third. We're still really excited for this. But
compared to the other two,
why
obviously.
It's not second or first.
Yeah. But I mean, the concept for it seems like, we have multiple food booths for this in the event this year, and Sting Alley is fully The Last of Us too. So there is a big presence of The Last of Us at the event this year. So I'm excited for that. And I know it's one of those, like, I don't know if the house can be good or not. I know for a fact this house is going to be good. Like, for a fact, this one is. So with that being already known that this house is going to be good, it's going to do well. The fact that we have like props and stuff throughout the streets and Sting Alley makes me excited, because I'm like, I know I'm going to enjoy it being there because the house is going to be receptively very well done. I'm hoping they just have it cast fully, because I feel like this could potentially be a weekend issue where the weekend house is good if it's fully cast. I'm hoping we have that same thing with The Last of Us, that it's fully cast. And usually the houses that have been in that spot in B108 have been, in my opinion, legendary. Not like legendary, but they've been solid houses.
Good houses.
We had in HHN 28, the first time this location was used, we had Seeds of Extinction, very loved house. 2019, Classic Monsters, a very well-loved house. HHN 30, we had Hill House, very well-done house. And then for 31 last year, you had The Weekend, which was also a very well-received house. This year, we're getting Last of Us. So it seems like this location has just been spot on with houses ever since its beginning in HHN 28. So I have high expectations for this spot, let alone.
Yeah.
So what do we got with the survey, by the way?
2% said 10th through 8th. 14% said 7th through 5th. 58% said 4th through 2nd. And 26% said 1st. So it's looking like probably mostly second place.
Yeah, it's high up there. Yeah.
Second or third. Yeah.
I mean, really like 80, 86 or 84%, from fourth place up. So yeah, heavily.
Yeah.
Heavily. So Haunting of Hill House, or Haunting of Hill House. I've read Haunting of Blind Manor, and I thought of Hill House in the spot. The Last of Us, number 3 for us on the list.
Yeah.
Number 2.
This one was hard. We went back and forth a little bit.
We did a little bit. Now, this one, I think, where people have their number 1s and 2s are between The Last of Us and this house, which is Stranger Things for us as number 2. They go between that one because those are major IPs. These are major properties we're talking about here. And yeah, so Stranger Things, number 2 for us. I love Stranger Things. I love the 80s vibe of it. I think it's a very well done show. I do. When you just look at the show alone, I think the shots, the storyline, the fact that they have multiple characters, these great story arcs with these characters and the settings. We're specifically talking about season 4 as well. There are some very strong locations to visit in this house, which is a positive, but also its biggest negative, in my opinion. Because there's so many strong locations with strong scenes from that show, I look at it like, are they going to be able to pull it off fully? HHN 28, we had our first Stranger Things house, and it was amazing. I loved that house. HHN 29, we also got Stranger Things for season 2 and 3 in one house, and it was a good house. I liked it, but because the 28 one was so well done, we got 29s, and it was not nearly as close as that one. It was a disappointment. It was still a good house. Like, if that was our first time ever getting that house, or if you put that house at any other event, people are gonna be like, that was the best house at the event. But because it's at Horror Nights, that one was a letdown for us a bit. Still very enjoyable house, very good, but
and the reason why we're hesitant on this one is because, at least for me, I feel like the reason why the 29 one wasn't as good as it could have been was, I feel like, and this is just speculation, but I feel like it's probably because Netflix, the oversight from Netflix. I feel like they probably wanted things to be a very specific way to where like HHN didn't really have a ton of they didn't have any creative control. And they also like couldn't make it scary because Netflix was just like, we want it to be this way. And that's why I'm like a little nervous for this one, because I'm sure they will still be very, very picky about the way the house looks. I just hope that I think it'll be better because this season was like more scary.
This is a more mature season that we've had in past. And, we get a good antagonist in Vecna. We have a good storyline with it. The Russia scenes, the California scenes, the Hawkins scenes. Like, there are good bits that we can explore in this house and things that I'm really excited about. And the Mind Flayer was present in this season. Vecna was present this season. We got a new creature, the Demo Bats, present in this season. The Demodogs, present in this season. The Demogorgons, present in this season. So it's like, really, they could throw anything that we've known of Stranger Things into this house. And we really could get that. So we'll see. There are a lot of things I'm excited to see, but this is one of those other houses where I'm just like, I'm worried that they won't pull it off. But I could see this house, if it's pulled off well, like it did in 2018, this is going to be easily one of those 90, 100, 120 minute wait houses consistently every single night, and probably going to be in the top 3 for everybody going through the event.
Yeah.
I don't see this house falling. If they execute it properly, I don't see this house falling anywhere on my list. It's going to stay right where it is. That's what I say. And over here on the chat, we have a 10. Surprises me.
Yeah.
But we also have 1, 5, 1, 1s, 2, 4, 1, 1. Also another 10.
I did see some people saying that it was lower on their list because of
the 29 house.
29 house.
Yeah. But like I said, you can't have that in mind. When we did our list, this is a reason why. That was probably the sole reason why it's number 2 for us.
Yeah.
Right? Obviously, we're going to get into it, Monsters being our number 1, right? But when it was Monsters and Stranger Things for us to pick what was our number 1, we went back to decide it. And HHN 29's house for Stranger Things brought that down for us. And then last year's Monsters house, as well as HHN 29's Monsters house, brought Monsters up for us. Yeah. You guys know we love Monsters. But let's talk about survey real quick for Stranger Things.
10th through 8th, 12%. 7th through 5th, 9%. 4th through 2nd, 41%. And then 1st, 36%.
Is that the highest percentage we've seen for first place?
I think so, yeah.
Scroll up a little bit to see the Last of Us one.
25%.
Yeah, for first or first.
Yeah.
Last one. Yeah, that was the second highest one then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Stranger Things with a 36% for their number one. So far, the highest percentage that we had for a number one so far. Well, that means that there's only one house left to talk about. Yeah. That's what happens when you do these lists. Once you get to number 2, you know where number 1 is already. Yeah. The Universal Classic Monsters Unmasked. The classic monsters, we love the classic monsters. Are we biased? Abso-freaking-lutely. Do I care about that? No, I don't. The classic monsters have consistently, every single time, delivered for us. Constantly.
Yes.
The concept for it, the execution, the energy, and the word energy is really like when people talk about the Universal Classic Monsters presented at HHN from 2019 up to now, you always get energy. All of the houses, the scare actors, for some reason in that house, they vibe so well with each other.
I think there's, and I'm sure it's the same way in like the Stranger Things house and like other big IPs, but representing like the classic monsters, like what Universal like was built on, literally, like, and being such iconic characters, I feel like there's, as like scare actors, there's a sense of like pride in that, which like you have that in the other houses, but it's different. So I feel like
HHN would not exist if it wasn't for these boys here.
Yeah.
Classic monsters.
So I do feel like the scare actors themselves in the classic monsters houses, like there's just a different energy.
Yeah. But I mean, it's not also like a different energy because there is, but they're all in unison. Like last year's Legends Collide house for us, that was our number one since night one. That was also our most anticipated house. Night one, I think we were like Dead Man's Pier because of how great the scale was for it. But I think by that next day, I was like, Classic Monsters also had such a great scale, but they were just nonstop. The energy was there for it, and it was a great house. And with this house, we get characters like the Phantom of the Opera, which I love Phantom Opera. My best friend, from 2019, he was also Phantom of the Opera there and stuff. So there's a good personal connection that me and Steph have with our friend and stuff. Drew, if you're watching this, Drew, you know what I'm talking about. But Phantom of the Opera, we get to see him. I love to see that. That's going to be a good piece. We have Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde in it, which we've never had. That's a new addition to it. The Invisible Man, we're actually like getting a physical Invisible Man.
Which like
on
they
set.
told us like when we came in for
2019
like, fittings and everything, they were like, Invisible Man is in your house. Like he's always there in all the monsters' houses.
He's going to be in all of them, but because he's invisible. So now we actually get to see him like in the house. And then we also get the Hunchback of Notre Dame, which these characters are like, when you look at your monsters in the tier, they're like your second tier. They're not really known for like the bigger ones like Dracula, Frankenstein, Mummy,
I like the JV team.
Yeah, they're that the next tier and stuff. So it is awesome to see that we're getting these folks in their little house and stuff together. And I think genuinely, depending on who the scare actors are in this is going to be one of those houses that the energy is going to be there. The jump scares are going to be there. The music's going to be there. The visuals are going to be there. This is one of those houses I can guarantee we lost a lightsaber. That when you go through this house and when you get out of it, you're like, that's a good house. That's what every single Classic Monsters house is like at the event.
Hopefully it lives up to that.
I'm putting everything I got on it. This house will be in your top 5 easily. And I can put 85% of people would argue that it's going to compete against The Last of Us and Stranger Things because of how good this house is going to be. And if it's not, put me in a costume and
100% we're getting a creature from
the Black Lagoon.
From the Black Lagoon.
Creature of the Black Lagoon.
We will be getting a creature house next year. 100%.
We have to. If not, something's wrong.
What else is left?
They must be saving them for something big because they know people want them. And I this is off topic and stuff, but when it comes to the creature, I feel like they want to do a creature from the Black Lagoon house, but the idea they have in mind, they have to wait a little longer to execute it properly. They don't want to rush into it. They need certain pieces and technology and things like that to make it happen. So I feel like I will rather wait 5 years to get a legendary creature house than get it this year and it being subpar just because we really wanted it right now.
Yeah.
I would rather wait and get that one. But with classic monsters, I'm seeing ones, four, threes, twos, ones, threes. I see some fives. I got 2 5s in there. I got an 8.
It doesn't look like it's gonna be the highest percentage at 1 though.
No, probably not. I think like 2, yeah.
And then 51% 2 through 4, 9% 5 through 7, 9% 8 through 10. I did see a lot of people saying like it's lower, but just because all the other houses are so strong, and they do still think it's going to be a really good house.
Yeah, like we said, all these houses are pretty strong. If you don't mind, leave that up for a second. But right now, from 4th up to 1st, it's got what 82%.
Yeah.
Of the vote right now.
Yeah.
Which I think is that the highest in the top half so far?
I think so.
Go to Stranger Things.
41-36.
Yeah. So right now, Monsters, as it stands, still currently has the highest percentage in the top half expectancy, which is higher than Stranger Things and The Last of Us. So this house is, for the majority of people, expected to be in the top.
Yeah.
Pretty easily. And I think so. It's obviously, guys, it's the classic monsters. You know, I mean, they're good. They've been good.
And I like that we're getting something different. Like, it's not as much as we love Dracula, but it's not like, oh, it's Dracula and Frankenstein again. You know what I mean? We're getting like some really like
I'm excited to see different ones. And even with this house, we still got other monsters we haven't explored yet. You know, Creature, like for one that we've just listed, like, are we going to get his own kind of house and some other characters involved in it?
We could get the daughter of Dracula or whatever that movie is.
All I'm going to say is I don't mind them. And I get how like sometimes people will say like it's kind of repetitive. We're getting classic monsters again. Yeah. But I will fight you on this conversation. They're like, we get it every year though. But every time you go, it's not the same. It's different. The Bride of Frankenstein Lives or whatever house in HHN 30 was very different than Legends Collide last year, which was very different from 2019, which is going to be very different from this year. Yes, it's the classic monsters, and the classic monsters appear every year, but they're not the same monsters, and it's a very different story.
Someone said it just makes sense to have like the classic monsters at HHN every single year.
Yeah, I think, generally speaking, classic monsters, especially in this style, the 2019 version that we got from HHN 29, that storyline, that style that we're getting, this dark universe stuff, that is what I like to see from the classic monsters at HHN. That high energy, that's where it belongs.
Yeah.
My opinion. So, easily for me, classic monsters, number 1 for us, unmasked. I think this one's going to be a great house, and I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to surprise us. What are you looking up at?
I was just looking at like all the different classic monsters.
Oh yeah, there's a lot.
There's a lot of different movies. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of different movies and renditions and stuff like that of it.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are still with us here, 2 hours and 23 minutes.
I'm surprised we got through all of.
Right.
Just all of it
before everything starts dying here, but. All 5 scare zones, all 10 haunted houses. We don't need to do a shows list. There's only one show. You know.
If
Chris sees us.
Number one,
Nightmare Fuel. Yay. So we got through all of our most anticipated for houses and scare zones and stuff. Like I said, if you guys are if you haven't seen our last video, we obviously did the most anticipated list, but go leave a comment on that video and put your ranking on it, or even after the live stream ends, put the ranking and stuff for you guys so I can physically see what everybody has for their ranking and stuff, because it is interesting to see some people's response for certain things, but it'll also do open conversation to see like why such as such, because that's something I'm interested in. So well, there we go, guys. I don't think we're going to break the record tonight. I think we'll save it for
the Thursday before.
The Thursday HHN 32 Eve live stream.
Yeah.
We'll save it for that night. Because we're 12 minutes away from the record right now. But we're going to save it. Because if we break this record, that means on Thursday we're going to have to go 3 hours. And we have to be up early in the morning on Friday for 4 nights. And we got to be up late that night. So yeah.
That's true.
Well, anyways, folks, let me go ahead for one more time. We're going to drop the Discord link in the chat for you guys, because we're going to be going over there as soon as this is done to do our live stream after party just to discuss some things with you guys, see what you guys think about the ranking that we had. Here we can only see y'all what you guys chat or type, but on the Discord we actually do like a general phone call with all you guys, so we can actually hear what you guys say for the rankings and your description on it. So we're looking forward to that. But I think that's pretty much it for tonight.
Yes.
We were going to talk about maybe potentially some Scarezone stuff and potentially even the merchandise. But tomorrow when we go to the park, currently what's planned, we got to be up pretty soon. So we won't be up late with the Discord after party. But tomorrow we're going to be trying to go out to Universal, hopefully early, and we're going to try to get a Scarezone update for you guys, construction update, and we'll possibly even swing over and look at some of the merchandise they have. We'll go to Islands of Adventure and we'll definitely see the merchandise and stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll do a giveaway. We haven't done one of those in a minute.
It has been a minute.
What do you guys think? Spam in the
They're
chat.
They're going to say yes.
Well, I want to know.
Do you even have to ask?
If I see 5 2s, I'm not going to do a giveaway.
Huh?
I don't know. I feel like that sentence ended shorter.
Yeah, I don't know what you meant by that.
Anyways, folks, that is going to wrap it us for tonight, as we're running low on energy here. But yeah, there you go. 5 Scarezones, 10 houses,
one show,
which is less than what they promised us. But it's safe to say that HHN 32 is leading up to be a really good year.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna have a really good time. I think it's gonna bring back some good vibes from us. Halloween's around the corner, guys. We're literally 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away at this moment, at this time, 11:03. I promise you, Steph and I are gonna be walking through the street of New York, headed to our next house.
That's so exciting.
I'm gonna cry. I want to cry so bad. I love HHN. I'm so excited. It's so cool. It's like settling. It's like settling in my body right now. Like with doing the content and stuff, we never really get the chance to sit down and kind of like soak it in because we're so focused on the work part of it. But like sitting here in the live streams, it hits me because I'm like, oh my God, like when we end this tonight, guys, there's one more Friday live stream. Just one more.
It's crazy. It really snuck up on us.
Yeah, it did. What do we do? Guys,
cry.
This one's gonna be a good year. I have a good feeling. It's that gut feeling. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna enjoy it, and I hope to see you guys out there. I really do. Like if you guys see us in the park, we're there and stuff. Please come up and say hi to us because that makes our event much better. Like just seeing you guys in the event. Erica
said, "See you there." Yes, we will.
Yeah, we will see you there.
We'll probably run into you guys multiple times,
and we'll probably do multiple houses together. But yeah, I can't believe it, guys. As Hondo just whined, like, no, don't do it. So, but anyways, folks, join us over on Discord for the after party. We'll be over there shortly. Actually, pretty soon we'll be over there, but just for a little short chat with you guys and stuff. And then other than that, tomorrow, Universal, expect hopefully a video by that night for in-park construction update. Yeah. With that being said, that is it. Hondo's whining at us. With 8 minutes left to the record, we're going to save it for another day. But I want to appreciate all you guys for joining us and coming out tonight. And look forward to tomorrow's video, hopefully. So, all right, peeps. We'll catch you later. We'll see you in the fog. 2 weeks. Ooh. Hey, come here. Come here. Come say goodbye to everyone. Come here. Mr. Whining. Come here. Come on. Up. Mr. Crybaby.
Say goodbye.
See you in the fog, motherfuckers.
Oh.
All right. We'll catch you guys.
Bye.